Compton in the house.
Without a doubt.
It's Compton in the house.
Without a doubt.
It's Compton in the house.
Without a doubt.
It's Compton.
What up?
Without a doubt.
I need that sports encyclopedia. We West Steve Kim. Got Trent in the cut. Yeah.
Where you at, man? In the gym shooting, I'm Durant. You ain't shooting John Moran.
Darnell is the Ball State legend. I'm the Warren Central High School legend.
I'm proving with a reliable source, straight from the mouth of the horse. Smitty and JB and Smitty from West Coast to Yost.
I love talking ball. It's nice to connect with guys that are like-minded and just are real and genuine.
Better stay in your lane. Hop into
You are fucking insane. Dude, what? You just will not give this guy his flowers. What is wrong with you?
Oh, you must have thought I was a bitch.
I am him. Use not it. What's the topic? With your logic when I flow. Big Komodo, how it's talking.
Got to get back to letting the baby cry a little bit to see if they can soothe themselves.
That's a bar.
Issues get pressed so fast it don't get sacked like bags and baggage. Smitty and Jason Brown killed it, yeah, it's a rap. We what the game's been missing. We switched it and filled the gap.
I identified him after his third fight, and I said that guy should be a star.
I'm so proud of the show, bro.
The gas, Smitty and Jason Brown.
Coach JB Show.
What up? We are in the building. Free Game Friday. Fired up to be on this Free Game Friday. And I'm going to be fearless on this Free Game Friday. The 3 Fs. Fuck it. Let's go. It's go time. Dr. Jesse Morse is going to pop in early on us. He got some Rashee Rice news updates on some injuries. Plus all things injuries as you fantasy fucking dick riding fanboys get to pick your fantasy picks. Guess what? He's going to give you some DFS injury updates, plus your favorite players updates as you head into week 5, week 6, if you had a bye of the NFL and college football season and weekend. So chime in. Dr. Jesse Morse will hop in. Big Matt McChesney is going to hop in right after that. And Shaun King, former Super Bowl champ, will hop in as well. And we're going to break down this Kirk Cousins 509-yard performance last night. But I'm rocking solo dolo today for the most part. We just got a bunch of guests. So appreciate you. Pound that like, subscribe, become a member. Big Smitty is down for about 3 to 4 days. Like I said, he has a workload that he has to cover at Fox. He'll be back next week. So it's going to be solo dolo, myself, and all the special guests the rest of the week or this week and then next start Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Smitty will be back, I believe, next Thursday. So nothing new for me. This is what I do. I did it alone for how long? So much love to all you guys that have followed the show and seen the growth. That's what she said since the beginning, the inception. Let's dive into it, man. On a night where the Atlanta Falcons inducted Matt Ryan into their Hall of Fame, we had our best Thursday night Amazon Prime football game in history. Clap it up. Yay, Amazon. Finally got a good football game. Kirk Cousins, first 400-yard plus thrower of the season as he hits 509 yards, dicing up the Bucs defensive secondary all night long. His first completion on play 1 was a big seam ball to Pitts, getting him involved early as Pitts finally shows up and has 7 catches. Drake London has 12 catches, season high, and the passing game looked good. However, for this team to win in December and January and ultimately February, they need to include Bijan Robinson in a much deeper role. His touches are insignificant touches. Take it from me. And when he touches the ball, you see glimpses of Barry, Reggie, Percy, and some quick twitch athleticism that you just don't see much of in this league anymore. He is by far the most athletic tailback in the NFL, and he has a lot of Percy Harvin in him, a lot of Barry Sanders in him, a lot of Reggie Bush in him, but we don't see it enough. Got to get him more involved, whether it's catching the ball at the backfield or get him more carries inside the tackles, but he is too dynamic to only touch the ball 9, 10, 11 times a game. He needs to touch the football, regardless of how you do it. 20-plus times a football game. It is what it is. He's their most dynamic player. Get him the ball. But listen, I'm not going to knock offensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons because he did a great job, but I think they threw the football far too many times. 54 times is just not going to win. That team should have lost last night, and they threw the football 54 times. If the Bucs don't ruin the game on offense and give Atlanta the ball back with 1:13, that game's over. And 54 yards and 400 and something yards at the time would have all been for naught. So again, got to run the football. Baker looked good. Mike Evans, as I said years ago on this show, is the most underrated wide receiver ever. And he's still a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL at his age. He plays as much as humanly possible. He doesn't demand trades and gives his body up for the sport that pays him. That means he respects it. He appreciates it and the opportunity to go out there every Sunday. This Bucs team just seems to be missing something. I don't know if it's a big-time tight end, a more focused run game, or just simply a better secondary on defense. But as I said, to start the season, the Falcons are the team in this division. The Bucs and the Saints will fight for second. But what do I know? Let's dive into the show. Kirk Cousins throws for 509 yards as the Falcons take out the Bucs in an overtime thriller. Antonio Pierce, Raiders head coach, has received an 8-year show cause for recruiting violations during the COVID-19 dead period while he was at Arizona State. Travis Hunter weighs in on the Matthew Sluka situation, saying NIL can wait. Focus should be on the NFL. Ironic to hear that. Let's dive into that a little bit later. We will also break down Week 6 college football Heisman Trophy odds and all things college football betting. But before we begin, my lovely self-esteemed co-host, Rams fan, Matthew Stafford, riding, Kirk Cousins loving, all white quarterback jocking, hater of all brothers playing QB, JB. I'm here. Yes, indeed. I am the co-host of myself.
Without a doubt. It's Compton in the house. Without a doubt.
I'm my own DEI. I'm my own DEI hire. Let's get this party cracking. We got a lot going on, man. It is a loaded lineup, loaded show. I told Bailey, let's do an Ohtani thumbnail. He didn't think it would work. I got trust in Bailey. I would have put Ohtani next to Koo and made that motherfucker look like he was kicking it. Ohtani was the winner last night. Winner, chicken dinner. Does anybody in here not know if Ohtani would have been on a thumbnail? Would you have got it? Because Bailey and I had a debate. He don't think. Bailey, pop in here. Bailey, I want to take a poll question. If Bailey would have put Ohtani on a thumbnail, do you think you all would have understood it?
I don't think that's the okay. I don't think the problem is them understanding. I think like 70% of your chat probably gets it.
I would have got
probably
it.
not the best.
Yeah, look. We would have got it. Yes. See, they would have got it, Bailey.
The fans, but not everyone. Yeah,
nah, maybe not the 55,000 or whatever we have now on YouTube. But I think the morning show fans would have got it. You know what we should do? But we're going to do a video later, so stay tuned for a video later. It's going to have Koo and Ohtani. You'll understand it. No all right, baby. Appreciate it. We got a lot to dive into. We're on TikTok as well. Got a lot going on, man. Yeah, I know. We'd have got it. Ohtani got it done. Ryan Clark is insufferable. I use that word insufferable because right now he's in a split gray and pink suit with a huge RC medallion on his suit right here, like if we don't know who he is. And remember the word insufferable, though, because I'm going somewhere with this word. He looks like an absolute, it's all about me, nothing else matters. Sometimes he wears the pivot hoodie. I mean, you can't get more free fucking marketing. I'm going to tell you right now. This motherfucker is unbelievable. All about me ass motherfucker. What a fucking mockery he is. Looking like a straight clown. Look at his folks looking at him, by the way, on stage. They are looking at him like, motherfucker really come out here in a split gray and pink suit with a huge RC right here? Look at them. Look at him. Even Bart Scott's looking at him like, you're a fucking clown. Every single time this motherfucker comes on air, he's wearing some outlandish color, super bright, some fucking all about me ass shit. I'm looking at this cat as in the hood, we'd call that motherfucker funny style. I'm just going to keep it real. Ryan Clark is fucking funny style. Let me just tell you straight out. I don't have a picture of him right now. He's live, I think, but I'm just telling you. He's fucking funny style. Just so you know. I'm sure Bailey can find something later, but I'm just telling you. That motherfucker. And don't wear a tighter suit. Don't wear a fucking tighter suit, by the way. Speaking of suits, a guy that wears it right and wears a suit the right way, knower of all things, PRP injection, legend, injury updater, a Miami legend, our very own, Dr. Jesse Morse. Doc, what up, Doc?
Good morning. How are we?
Man, we're good. We're solo dolo today. Smitty's on assignment at Fox covering Ocho and Shady McCoy and all those guys. So he's doing that all week, next week too. So we got a lot going on, man. You said you had some updated news. I'm looking at Ryan Clark wearing a split gray and pink suit, but you got some updated news on Rashee Rice?
Yeah, so Albert Breer tweeted something about an hour ago now. They said they were going to mention it last night, but the game went to OT and it kind of took that timing of it. So I just tweeted a response to it a couple minutes ago, but they basically said that the tentative plan for Rashee Rice, who was placed on IR yesterday, is to have a knee scope on Monday and to determine the severity of the injury and the treatment plan going forward. The initial concern in his injury to both the ACL and the PCL. So I'll do a more detailed video later about this because this is a little complicated. But long story short, he had direct trauma from Mahomes. He was planted, which puts more weight on the knee. And there's now a lot of swelling. He's reportedly wearing a knee sleeve but walking around, which tells me it is certain things and not others. And the fact that they didn't put him on season-ending IR immediately tells me that it's not one of the more obvious things. With that being said, the fact that they mentioned ACL and PCL, which is consistent with the trauma, does kind of tell you. And some people, as good as the MRIs are, sometimes you can't see the severity of the ACL without visually seeing it. So that's why they're going to go in and scope and literally look with the camera and say, hey, what does this show? How does, I have my little model here. And they're going to basically go in, they're going to say, hey, how is the meniscus? Okay. They're going to look at, okay, ACL attaches here. How's the attachment? How's the mid body? Has the middle of the rope or the tendon? Okay, it attaches. It looks good there. Okay, PCL, how does that look? Does that have any partial tears in it? How was that attached? Is there any cartilage damage, which is kind of up on the top part here, above the, on the femur? And is there any cartilage injury there, which would be consistent with what the significant swelling? So this is one of those situations where they've talked beforehand and they said, okay, there's one of two things. You're just going to go in and evaluate everything. Or they're going to say, hey, if there's an ACL, if there's a bad PCL, if there's cartilage injury, if there's meniscus, here's our plan. Here's what I'm going to do. So I don't obviously know which route they're going to go. Maybe they're just evaluating first, then pulling out and saying, okay, here's our plan.
Man, so they did not know when Andy Reid at halftime said it's bad. All I can tell you when he was interviewed. So afterwards, obviously, they knew something was up. And then, so they don't put him right on IR because of what you just said. They haven't really discovered if it's really just torn to shit, if it's a bad sprain, if it's a bad, or do you say we know for a fact one side or the other is torn, or you don't know?
Yeah. So sometimes it's super obvious, and my suspicion is Reed was getting information from the team doc saying, hey, his knee is super loose. Usually that correlates with a bad ACL and or a bad PCL, meaning torn or partially torn. But after the swelling calms down, or it sounds like it really hasn't yet, which isn't surprising, then you can actually get a good visual of how many fibers are still intact, how much is torn versus partially torn. So people are going to wonder, what scenarios here is it possible for him to come back this year? And I will say the only thing, if there's any damage to the ACL, he's done. If this is a mild, let me rephrase that. If there's any damage to the ACL, that's a partial or more tear. If it's just sprained but fully attached and still pretty strong, that's good news. Same thing with the PCL. As long as it's no longer attached, that's relatively good news. That's what Puka Nacua has. When you put them together, which is the most likely scenario, because the ACL and the PCL are crisscrossing. So when he took this hit, both of them were taut. So now they're really loose. And that's when the knee basically does whatever the hell it wants, because the two ligaments that are supporting it, that are opposing each other, can't do that because it's like an elastic band that's loose. Like they don't have that tautness right now.
Hey Doc, my dog, my female dog Callie, I just spent $4,500 on a fucking ACL surgery, so she's recovering. On that model you just showed, they showed me the X-ray and they showed me everything that I got a list of shit I got to do for this dog every day, and she's like miraculously recovered. Like she's no bruising right now, no fluid, no swelling. Like she had it done Sunday, and like she's fucking running around over here, and I'm like, holy shit, girl, calm down. But she's got big sutures in, but they showed me the thing. So it's what you just showed me. So that ligament that's in front of the bone, I guess they put some sort of like connector.
Yeah, so they basically drill. They drill
the bone,
here and up here, basically, to make it easy here. Then they decide where they're going to get their graft from. Some people use what we call allografts, meaning or donor graft from another person, or I guess another dog in that situation. But for NFL players, that's a no-no. They're not strong enough. They're just high risk of tearing. Older people that aren't overly like active, then okay, that's fine. But if you're under 40, in my opinion, you just use your own graft. The most common one has always been the patellar tendon to reconstruct the ACL. Some people are using the quad tendon, and some people use the hamstring tendon. It just depends on the surgeon and how they.
Do you think that this whole thing could be a deterrent? Do you think this Ray Rice IR situation, due to the fact that the Chiefs have just been riddled with off the field issues, do you think this is another way of just slowing down the process after the latest things that we saw over the weekend with Ray Rice's or Rashee Rice's mom? Do you think she thought this was a new knee in this box?
What? I don't even know where to begin with this video.
You think she thought that was a new ACL?
I literally don't know. Like, I don't understand.
It seems like all the Rices are fucked up besides Jerry Rice. I mean, Rashee.
Can you be any more obvious of who you are with what you're wearing?
No. And got the kid, and then she looks at the camera like, fuck, it's me. Like,
I mean, I didn't even see the full video. I saw the little clip a previous time, and I'm like, huh? But I don't know. I can't explain that one. That one's out of my pay grade.
I mean, I seriously, I'm fucking around, obviously, but seriously though, there could be some sort of like, let's slow this down. We know his leg's shot. He's done for the year. That's why they put him on IR. IR puts you out automatically 8, right? Oh,
4 months, minimum 4, not including bye. So it's 5.
Yeah, okay. So So I'm just saying, could they do that to say, all right, we know it's shot, but we got to take the heat off this?
Maybe that's their PR team. And then obviously, he still has that likely upcoming suspension. So, which we'll talk about that at a later point in time. But long story short, if he ends up needing surgery, that's going to hold him out until next year. That only starts when he's active, from my understanding. So that means that he would have to be activated in order to serve it. So in my opinion, they would almost activate him early
I brought that
and say,
up.
hey, if he has a 4 games, whatever it is, and then just say, hey, we're going to activate him early. He's going to serve the suspension, and then by that time, he'll be actually ready to return. I
brought that up, Doc, when it happened, because I said, listen, that doesn't matter until he gets this legality part is actual sentence. Boom, here's your time. Now you don't get time served.
No, I mean, I don't think they'll be lenient on him. I mean, maybe a little bit, but I don't think it's enough to wipe it out. You know?
Let me ask you something. Last night, Drake London got banged over the middle. They took him out. They take him to the back.
Yeah.
Give the fans a real quick synopsis on how that is determined that he was okay to come right back. He ends up having 12 catches, his most.
Great game.
Comes out and does a great game. Kyle Pitts gets 7. He's actually was healthy enough.
He's alive.
He's alive. No shit.
He's alive.
Why would they take him off and bring him back? And then and then how do we know he's really was cleared or whatever?
So here's how this plays out. So I saw the play in hindsight, but I didn't see it live. The timing was just weird. I was on my phone. So they pulled him out and they said, hey, we want to check you for a concussion, presumably. So there's 2 to 3 docs that can do this. One of the 2 non-surgicals like me would evaluate him and say, here's, it's about 5 minutes or so. Do this test, depending on how bad the person's,
Doc, that's like the where you born, what day is it?
So but there's also like, hey, apple, purple, 7, and then they'll ask you that in a minute. Then they'll ask you that in 3 minutes. I mean, the way I would do it. Then I would have them do like physical testing, manual testing. I would have them, because you have to ask them stuff that they can't like memorize, right? Like, hey, what quarter is it? You can someone can be like, hey, like it's the second quarter, like you're playing, So you have to ask them questions that like they can't cheat.
Hey Doc, real story. We used to have guys that we'd have buddies like have our arm around us.
Yeah.
And the doc would, and then that's Tuesday on the back.
Oh.
Football. Like we were taught that shit, man. This is back in the 90s now. People don't realize when you had concussion, we fucking played through that shit.
Oh, they did. It wasn't safe, but it was done. I know that. There's no question about that.
But go ahead, sorry.
So no, that's kind of interesting, but not surprising. But that's part of the reason why they do it in a blue tent. And so traditionally, one of the 2 team docs will evaluate the player. If they determine that there is a concussion, that's usually it. It doesn't matter. They take their helmet, they're done for the game. If they say no, he passed all my tests, like he doesn't have a concussion in my opinion, the independent neurotrauma consultant, usually in the back, will then evaluate on their own to confirm that they do not have a concussion. If that doc confirms and agrees with the first doc, the player can go back. If there's a conflicting, the docs usually speak and they say, here's what I saw, and then they come up with a plan per se, and then the decision is made based on whatever they decide. So the fact that he went to the back, in my opinion, tells me he was cleared by the first doc, or they just didn't want to do it on the sideline, one of the 2. He was evaluated. They said, hey, he's fine to go, and then eventually he came back in. I tweeted basically saying this should take 5 to 10 minutes. If he doesn't come back before halftime, he's had it. He's got a concussion. The timing usually just is that's the way it works, unless they're checking out a neck or something else. But if it's just a straightforward concussion, usually, there was still half a quarter or something. So it had plenty of time for him to come back. There are certain teams, I noticed the past couple of years since the Tua situation, we'll call it, the previous Tua situation, that even if they cleared the protocol, they would hold him out. They would hold him out. So we got into a situation where on Mondays, they would be back at practice. And I'm like, that told me that they actually passed the concussion, but they didn't want him to play, and they're actually okay to Monday to practice usual, or the regular stuff on Mondays. It's hard to read between the lines with that. Obviously, if you're back in the game, then they're definitely cleared. And that may also play a role with how important the player is, which sounds kind of stupid, but if it's QB, if it's a top wide receiver, like maybe if they're like, yeah, he's good, get back on the field. And a lot of it has to do with the aggressiveness of the medical staff. Some of them like, yeah, get back out there. Some like, no, we're going to err on the side of caution. We're going to hold you out, and if you're good for tomorrow, then then we're fine.
It's funny. Pro Football Talk just dropped the thing. I sent it to Bailey. We'll get it in here and show you, but it's kind of like, it's interesting because it's kind of what we were just alluding to. Like, are they doing this for PR purposes? Because I look at it in the big picture. I'm like, I forward think on this shit. I've been in that league and in those locker rooms and see how those people work. It's a business in there at the highest level. And it's like they're going to make sure they cover their asses, especially underneath a regime that's had the head coach's son get a DUI before a Super Bowl and all these other issues we've had, from the quarterback's daddy to DUI to his brother getting arrested. I mean, everything. The Swifties, you know it. There's a PR nightmare. But let me ask you, what other injuries pop out? What other injuries stick out or pop out for this weekend, especially for the fantasy pickers out here?
Yeah. So a brief review. Bijan looked pretty good last night, but still didn't get
they got to get him more carries.
The volume that they were looking for. The Bucs have a pretty good rush defense, but he killed me on not getting enough receptions. We'll leave it at that. AR, I think, has a good chance to play this week. I wouldn't be surprised if he leaves the game at some point in time. I'll just put that. But he has that hip pointer, he has that oblique, he has that abdominal. He practiced in limited capacity the past 2 days. I get why you would want to play him. I also get why you would want to consider sitting him. So it just depends on my suspicion as he plays. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see Flacco in the game. I'll just leave it at that. Rodgers is banged up with a knee. And remember, not only is he 40, but this game is in London. Which means they have to leave tomorrow. It's a long flight. Usually the weather is not as nice or not as ideal. And they're facing that really good Vikings defense. Okay, so we thought it was ugly last week. It may be even uglier this week. So you Garrett Wilson owners, as am I, limit your expectations with him right now. You have a banged up quarterback and you have a really good defense you're fighting. And we know Flores is legit. I mean, the kid, he knows how to call plays. I mean, there's no question about it. Lettuce is on his body. So
if they lose the Jets, Robert Saleh's seat is going to be fucking hot. I'm just telling you right now.
If they win, I'll be impressed. Okay, I'll just put it that way.
2 and 3 going into one of the most daunting schedules to start the season. It's going to be tough, man. And putting 9 points against Denver. I get Denver's defense has improved, but 9 points with this team, I'd be shocked if they don't do anything they can to get Devontae Adams over there. I'm gonna be shocked.
It sounds like he's out this week, but it sounds like maybe that much more of a formality. Like, hey, we don't want to injure you more, and we're working out this situation. Jonathan Taylor hasn't practiced yet this week. He has a high ankle, even though he had this ligament repaired a couple of years ago. I don't care. You're still going to miss a week. So I'd be surprised. Trey Sermon will be the main guy there. Travis Etienne is off the injury report, but we're not really off it. But I'm not really worried. Tank Bigsby also has that little bit of shoulder. I don't know what the heck this team's doing. They might actually show up this week and actually play and win. But they haven't really been very dominant, really so far this year. And they keep going back and forth of who seems to be the more effective back. Brian Robinson Jr. popped up with a knee injury that I did not know of before, has not practiced Wednesday or Thursday. So there's a chance he could miss this week. He's looked really good. Austin Eckler will be back. He's cleared the concussion protocol. So that, and then Nick Nichols, I think his name is, he looked good last week. That may be why we didn't realize that Brian had banged himself up. That may have been the first signal. But if he's still on your wire, there's a chance, and he's super deep buried, there's a chance that he might lead this backfield. So if you're in a deep league, you might need to go get McNichols because this hasn't been talked about yet. I'll tweet it in a little bit.
Is that Jeremy McNichols?
I think it's the kid on the Commanders. I think it's Jeremy. I think it's Jeremy. I know it's Mick Nichols
I
or Mick Nicholson.
I coach Jeremy if that's him. I didn't know.
I think you have to check. I know his last is Mick Nichols' son or Mick Nichols, something like that. But he was like third or fourth string. Like he was way buried. And he was on a different team last year. Chubb obviously working his way back, not be ready for this week. 2 to 3 more weeks. Singletary has a groin strain, hasn't practiced yet. There's a chance he plays, but I think Tracy is the guy this week. But and we'll talk about it in a minute. They're really decimated only because they don't have their stud and neighbors. Jeff Wilson Jr. should be fine. He tweaked his knee in warm-ups, but it sounds like he's okay. Beatty, we saw that scary lumbar issue last week. Sounds like they're trying to decide they want to put him on IR, so I don't think we'll see him. Cordarrelle Patterson and Jalen Warren are likely both to be out this week. They both have, one has a knee, one has an ankle. Najee has a great matchup, but just looked awful last week. Could have been an AC sprain, could have been just how they played him. I don't know. Kareem Hunt popped up with his shoulder, but they're playing on Monday night, so that's kind of tricky. Carson Steele's in the doghouse. He's had multiple fumbles. He had a fumble in the first touch, I think, last week, and he didn't touch the ball again, I don't think, the rest of the day. Zamir White popped up with a groin injury. So he's already kind of looked awful this year. So that is going to be more help for Madison. Kamara is banged up, but he'll be fine. Jerome Ford will be fine. Bucky looked pretty good last night. He had that fumble / punch out. That is what it is. And Rashad White, looked better. He got lucky with that breakaway, big tackle or big run. But besides that, I think he was like 7 rushes for 8 yards or something like awful. That one skewed it so much that it made it look like a good game. Mixon has not practiced again. Remember, he practiced last Friday and we're like, oh, and then he didn't play on Sunday. He hasn't practiced Wednesday or Thursday. So even if he practices today, like, are we doing the same thing we did last week? Like, you can't get 3 practices in a row. Should you really be playing? Is kind of the way I look at it. Damian Pierce also hasn't practiced. So I don't know what they're doing there, and they can't get these guys healthy. But this could be another Cam Akers game, although he's looked mediocre at best. Not surprising with bilateral Achilles, but Kenneth Walker looked incredible. So we'll see. He was full practice, then he went down to a partial practice. So we'll see if that's anything. I don't think so, but it bears monitoring. If he's fine today, he should be fine. And Mostert should potentially be back this week. They've been slow playing this. It'll be interesting.
And the biggest news. Give us the biggest news. I know he was cleared. Miami fans want to know.
Tua, you mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if he was cleared per se. I mean, we've heard rumblings he's doing pretty good. I like the fact that he's on the sideline. That's good. I like the fact that he right now, like, they can't push it anymore. Like, he's on IR. There's nothing they can do to reverse that decision, although they probably wish they could. He's just being smart and making sure all of his symptoms are gone. He's probably going to be back in week 8 is when he's eligible. But I mean, he's one more hit away from
symptom free though. Is that a report? Is that a report that's
no? I don't think it's a report. I think it's a comment. I don't know if I haven't heard anything confirmed per se. Even if they did, I don't know if they're actually going to tell you the whole story. And being symptom free and clearing the protocol are a little bit of a different thing. And realistically, my concern for him is he's one more hit away from this all happening again. So everybody's like, can I buy Tyreek Hill or like low? I'm like, you can, but what if this happens again in week 8 or 9? Like, you're so dependent on someone that needed to be placed on IR immediately after getting a concussion. Like, that's kind of a lot of risk. And we saw how pretty much irrelevant he was last week. He's playing in New England this week. Maybe they get a little bit more love, but we're not going to see the same level of potency with any of their offensive guys, Achane included, until Tua's back. And even that, their offensive line is a mess.
I just don't know, man. This is going to be like I did a viral video a few years ago when he first banged his head out the turf when it all started. And I'm like, for them to rush him back to get some wins kind of just is an oxymoron, right? It's like going against the whole Flores take on the ownership and everything and why they got Flores out of there. It's like goes back full circle that Flores was right about everything. So I don't know. And then he looks like he's a pretty fucking good coach, by the way. So,
I mean, he's looking legit, right? I mean, we knew he's been a good coach, at least based on his track record. They kind of threw the dirt on him down here in Miami, but maybe it looks like he was right and they were wrong.
I'm hearing the Giants and the Bills, if something goes haywire there in either one of those places, and I'm hearing Philadelphia, all three would be very interested in his services. So,
I mean, he's obviously good at what he does. I don't think there's much of a question there. Whether or not, he got the PR for it, it's a different story. Neighbors has not practiced this week. Okay. He had a concussion last Thursday. Yeah. Okay. So I mentioned this on Wednesday. I was very confident in my decision. People questioned it. That's okay. I get that all the time. But now you see why I'm not crazy. The concussion protocol is 5 steps. Step 3 means you could practice with the team a little bit. He hasn't even done that yet. You need a minimum of 24 hours between each step. They fly to Seattle tomorrow. Explain to me why he hasn't been ruled out yet. Because they want to preserve the money line or whatever the line is.
It's all betting, man. It's all betting, but we won't put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame. It's just the dumbest shit I've ever heard, man. It's so hypocritical, and I don't know. Going back real quick before you get out of here, going back to Rashee Rice, Pro Football Talk dropped a little story on him, and it kind of goes back to what we said. It says, entering the season, the goal was to delay Rice's off-field issues into 25. Now that he's injured, though, ironic again, the plan will be to get this criminal case and any suspension behind him this year. According what I'm seeing on from the players union and everything else that has to do with these type of criminal cases, he has to be able to perform. Because that would be the dumbest rule ever. If I'm hurt, let's clear him. Like, that doesn't make sense. He's got to be able to. Taking away games is what matters, not sitting out hurt.
Yeah. And from my understanding of it, this is why I was on him this year, because I knew he was going to be this good and going to be the alpha there. But I knew that his case was going to be delayed so late into the season that there's no way they can have a suspension before they have the case. And his lawyers would be an idiot not to delay this until after the season. 2025, a different story. So that's why his ADP was so suppressed. People were getting him in the 8th, 9th round early on. I took him, it was like, I had him as a top 15 guy because I anticipated that he was going to be really good. And maybe if Kelsey was going to take a little step back, that was possible too. And now obviously that kind of makes sense. But they can't automatically be like, oh, okay, let's take care of the suspension now. Like, you can't have it the way you want it just because. But that's what they do. I led the show off yesterday. I said these cats want their cake. They want to eat it too. They want more money without doing. They want to do less for more. I mean, this is what it is. I don't know. It's just it's crazy, man. These kids. I'm gonna finish up strong with this, coach. Olave's fine. Deontay Johnson tweaked his ankle. Coach said he's fine. Khalil Shakir, I have significant concerns about his ability to play this week, and if he does, he's really high risk. Christian Watson, high ankle sprain, shouldn't play this week. Brandon Cooks, this is an interesting situation. Played last Thursday against New York. Reportedly got an injection, which is my specialty, probably after the game, I'm assuming, or the next day. Could have been steroids, could have been PRP, could have been stem cells, could have been anything. Unfortunately, whoever was performing that injection didn't clean, in my opinion, the knee skin appropriately. Introduced needle into the joint, brought bacteria with it. Oh. Infection in the joint. He flies to Dallas, sees Dr. Cooper, who's the team doc. Cooper says, you have an infection in the knee, my friend. We have to go into the knee. Probably. Would that be staff? Usually. We're going to go into the knee. We have to clean it out, what we call wash it out, and then I'm going to scope your meniscus, which is the problem in the first place. That could take anywhere from 1 to 4 weeks to heal. It just depends on how he's doing. So that's going to hold him out for a couple weeks. I don't think they're going to put him on IR because it's too risky, the timing of it. But that's going to help Tolbert. That will help some of the other Turpin and some of the other guys. But just an unfortunate situation. Nico Collins looked ridiculous. He looks incredible. Devonta Smith should be back after the bye. Marvin Havens, don't worry. Tank Dell is likely to be back this week. And obviously Cooper Kupp, I think a couple more weeks. A.J. Brown should be back next week. Deebo Samuel looked good last week, so I'm not really worried. Keenan Allen's off the injury report. And then George Kittle and Taysom Hill both suffered rib injuries. It sounds like George Kittle's is more of a rib bruise versus a cartilage injury, and he has a chance to play this week. Taysom Hill fractured multiple ribs, confirmed. He is not playing this week. It's too risky for him to play this week. It's tough of a kid as he is. So, he might miss 2 to 3 weeks, depending on if he can tolerate the pain, if he can get him to calm down, and where they are. Lower ones are painful. The upper ones are too risky to puncture lungs, so you have to be careful. Cole Kmet popped up with a knee. I don't think it's a big deal. Trey McBride should clear the concussion protocol. I don't think he's at risk for missing. Evan Ingram should be back, although you have to be a little careful with him this week. Jake Ferguson looks good. He's not quite 100%, but he looks good. And I think David Njoku returns from his high ankle. But again, he's not going to be 100%, but he'll be on the field.
Man, that's the best breakdown anywhere on planet Earth. So I appreciate everybody. Go follow Dr. Jesse Morse today. And then on TikTok, because I get confused every time. TikTok, breakdown. What is your TikTok for the sports bettors or for the doctors?
So that one is the injury experts, just like my
injury
name.
Expert with a Z.
With a Z, yeah. The Z, yeah. So and that one I do short form videos like YouTube Shorts, and then I have my guys put them on TikTok. So that one has its own algorithm. And some days they go quiet, and then other days they go freaking bananas. But I try to put the smaller, like 1 to 2 minute videos on there. The longer ones, I'm about to do a Rashee Rice one. That one's going to be on Twitter and on YouTube because they're just too long. I can't describe everything I need to describe in a minute, and do it justice. And then I do my long forms on Sunday night. For some people, it's Monday morning. For what happened on Sunday. And then Wednesday night, late night, I dropped the preview for the week. Basically what we just walked through, saying hey, this guy's going to play, this guy's not going to play, this guy's risky, so on and so forth. And that one's on both YouTube as well as my Twitter.
Man, appreciate you. That's big time. Enjoy the weekend. Hopefully you hit your bets, and hopefully we don't have any more weed and Taco Bell injuries.
Okay. Have a good show, buddy.
All right, Doc. Later. Shout out to Doc for popping on Tuesdays and Fridays on the realest show on planet Earth, giving us updates. So all you guys, you fantasy fucks out there, can go pick whoever you want to pick, knowing who's injured now. You got updates on Mixon and Neighbors and guys that are high quality picks for your guys' fantasy leagues, etc., DFS, etc. So shout out to Doc for popping on. Let's get to the quote of the day. And contrary to belief, we hadn't even started the show. That's what realist shows do. Quote of the day brought to you by Prize Picks. Head on over there and use the promo code CoachAB. And our major sponsored, our ticker galore right behind us right here. Make sure Skybox Sports, you go check them out. Use the promo code CoachJB. Get 10% off. And you see that ticker right behind me. It updates on its own once you hook it up and everything. So you saw some baseball. We're in the middle of baseball right now. The Mets got it done. They advanced to the NLDS. Dodgers, Padres. The rivalry continues this weekend right here at Chavez Ravine. My Doyers are going to go for the sweep. Calling it now. And then you got the Yankees on the other side. You got the Phillies on the other side in the NL. So we got a lot going on, man. It's October, so you can bet it all. And we'll have a proud new sponsor of the show come Monday. We'll announce that as well. So show's growing, like what she said. Appreciate everybody. Let's get to the quote of the day. Quote of the day, man. 2 things in this world that you don't fight for: true love and true friends. They come naturally. That is the quote of the day, and that's as real as you could get. 2 things I don't fight for: love and true friends. I'm just telling you, they should come naturally. You shouldn't be forcing it. You shouldn't have to say, text me back. You shouldn't have to say, why are you late? You shouldn't have to say, where are you at? It should be natural. I shouldn't be in the hospital and ask where my boys are at. I shouldn't be dying and ask where you are. But you saw the quote earlier this week. There'll be more people at your funeral than at your birthday party. They like to see you on your back, not on your feet. You already know. Contrary to belief, brought to you by First Round Performance. As you see right there in our corner up there, first-round performance. Go get you some gear. We'll show a commercial here in a second. Your opinion matters, just not to everyone, contrary to belief. Your opinion matters, but fucking not to me it don't. I'm just throwing it out there to all you nobodies out there that you really think on Twitter you're going to really tell me about cover 2. Your opinion matters, dog, just not to me, contrary to belief. Poll question. All you guys in the chat, answer this, and we'll have a debate. Was last night's Falcons game the best Amazon Prime game ever? Listen, it's week 2. I mean, year 2 of Amazon, and I get it. It's been the worst football period on Planet ERF. Last night was arguably the best game, right? Let me know. But while you guys answer that question, I got to get back to my insufferable Ryan Clark take. Because the word insufferable, I want to make sure that everybody who's here listening understands what that word means. Because, holy shit, look at this motherfucker here. What does that suit do? Like, seriously, why would you wear that suit? Unless what? I want all eyes on me. I want to make it about me. And then you got the big RC on there, chromed out. Let's dive into the word insufferable real quick. Let's dive into what the chat is saying right now. It's very ironic how you fucking teeter-totter, ride the fence ass, gray area fucks are. Jeff Nadu co-hosted yesterday with the show, and I see nothing but hateful comments that we want Smitty back. I was wrong. Smitty's the best co-host. I was wrong. JB with Smitty. It's the fire and ice that JB talked about. You fucks are embarrassing, homie. I'm just telling you. You cats out there are all fucking bottom feeders who live with your mama in her basement. You guys are absolute fucking nobodies, and you'll never be pleased. You'll never be pleased. To my point, why I tell these cats that come on here, don't even look at the comments. These cats are fucking bottom feeder nobodies. You are never pleased and never happy, yet you won't even pay $1.99, you fucks. You're absolute fucking nobodies. And we'll go to members-only chats here during the season. I promise you that. And even guys like fucking G Wizzle, who's an absolute DEI fucking chat hire, I will block you too, just simply off of who you like, what females you like. You like fucking Mina Kimes. You're a nobody. You like Elle Duncan. You're a fucking nobody, G Wizzle. I'm just telling you, you'll never be pleased. You'll never be pleased. You're a bunch of fucking nobodies. You'll never be pleased no matter who it is. I could have Brian Urlacher on and you'll call him a fucking this and that. You're the wrong co-host. It don't matter who we have on here. You cannot be pleased, which is why I don't care. You're fucking nobodies. Please understand, G Wizzle, you're a nobody. I love it, though. I say it all the time. I tell Smitty all the time, I'm like, dog, you motherfuckers can never, ever please these fucking nobodies. Never. You're absolute nobodies. Just wanted you to know that. These guys do this shit for free. And that's all you want to talk about is how bad it is. And I was wrong. You bitch about Smitty for 6 months. Then you want him back all of a sudden. The same people bitching. Holy fuck. You guys are fucking embarrassments. You're embarrassments. I'm just going to be honest. Free show and you're all bitch made fucking $1.99. You spend $7 at Starbucks every day, you fucking dick riders. Shut up. You got choices in life, homie. If you think I'm going to have scabs on my knees for begging you, you got me fucked up. I could give a fuck less. You fucks are embarrassing. I'm just going to tell you right now. Shout out to all the real ones, though, that are here because of the entertainment value and they gets them through their day or whatever happens. Some of you, though, most of you are probably just fucking trolls. And if you're not a member, you're just a fucking troll. Like TC, you're a fucking nobody. You're a troll. That's why you go bye-bye. That's why you go bye-bye, because you're a troll. Bye-bye. All right, let's dive into this thing. We got a lot going on here. Appreciate everybody breaking it down. The Falcons-Bucks last night, I'm going to be honest with you, it was a decent game, but 509 yards doesn't necessarily equate to great quarterback play. All right, just want to throw that out there. It doesn't necessarily mean it's great quarterback play. Baker Mayfield threw for 180 yards. We have yet to have two quarterbacks. We've yet to have two quarterbacks actually go in and have a great fucking performance. We threw for 509 yards on one side of the ball. They threw the ball 54 times. 54 times on one side. And I'm just going to be honest. Kirk looked good at times. He looked bad at times. This is still not selling me that this is the great fucking quarterback. Oh, my God, I got DM. You should have seen the fucking dick riders who hits me up and says, what about now, JB? Quarterback plays back. It's back because the first 400-yard game through week 6 finally happened, and it's back now? Holy shit, man. I'm just telling you, it's like you fucks in the chat. Some of you are embarrassing. You have nothing else to do. I get it. You have no job, no life, no money, no bitches, no boats, no cars, no houses, no. I get it. There's nothing worse than jealous one's envy. I get all that. Some of you guys are ridiculous. Don't matter. Trick Dawson. It don't matter, dog. They pay, though. They pay to be here. They have the right to talk. You don't. Do you not understand that, Trick Dawson? You don't. So it doesn't matter if they're disrespectful. They pay. If I pay, guess what? I want service. You don't even fucking pay. But you want to talk? See, that's the problem with you fucks. You Kamala fucks. That's the problem. Guarantee you're a Kamala dick rider. Anyway, not a great game. Wasn't impressed. Probably the best game. Probably the best game of the Amazon era. But not overly impressed. I wasn't glued to the fucking TV. I'm just going to tell you. I wasn't glued to the TV. So it was cool. But London got the ball 12 times. Pitts got the ball 7 times. They didn't get the ball to Bijan Robinson enough, in my opinion. Bijan Robinson, in order to win games late, is going to have to be a bigger part of the offense. And just so we're clear, the Falcons should have lost. The Falcons should have lost the game. And they go to overtime because the Bucs didn't handle business on offense. The game would have been over. Now, I'm not a fucking guru or genius, but if you leave a minute 15 on the clock, guess what happens? Kirk Cousins is probably going to get you opportunity to score, and that's what happened. So, yeah, it didn't work out though so great for the Bucs because on offense, which I've seen more than I've ever seen this year, it's no fix, dog. Okay, it's not a fix. Oh shit, what did I do? It's not a fucking fix. The fix wasn't in. You were shitty on offense, Bucs, and punted the football. It's nothing about the fix. I love when I hear it's the fix was in. Why was it a fix? Because you punted the football back to the Bucs or to the Falcons? No, you're just shitty. You guys are shitty. So I'm just saying. A lot of dick riders in the chat today. It's Friday. I get it. So it is what it is. Evan, don't get blocked, homie. But listen, we got a little real talk or jaw jacking, and then we're going to do a commercial. Matt McChesney's on the other side right after this. But is this real talk or jaw jacking? All you real ones, comment in the chat.
Broke up with my girlfriend, or really she broke up with me. I mean, and I was probably 15 or 16 years old. So I was kind of in a bad mood, I guess you would say, to put it mildly. So I'm working at the service station and not treating the customers right. So he said, you know, what's wrong with you today? And I said, well, I broke up with my girlfriend. And he said, so you don't have a girlfriend now? And I said, no, I don't have a girlfriend anymore. He said, well, if you keep acting the way you're acting today, you're not going to have a job. All right? Because as your boss, I'm going to fire you. And the second thing, as your father, I'm going to kick your ass. That's one that I remember. And I straightened up quickly. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. That's right.
We don't have that no more, though. Can't say that no more. If you say that now, you're an asshole. You're too mean. That's what happens when alphas get into a room together and have real conversations. That's the problem. You guys have no... We have a guy in our government that's a fucking made-up human telling Americans what we need to do. Now, make it make sense. It's fucking unbelievable. We're going to take a commercial. Matt McChesney will be on the other side. We got a lot of topics, a lot to break down, and a lot more real talk barbershop banter. We'll see you in about 4 minutes. Pound that like. Peace.
Yeah, what advice did you, I guess, you feel like, I know you always thinking back to, like, what would your grandpa tell you in this situation or that situation, this situation? In this current moment, what do you think grandpa or grandma would tell you, kind of a word of advice to handle this current situation right now when you think about just the landscape of what's going on and where you at, the level you are? What would they tell you right now in this scenario?
Look, let me tell you something. My grandmama used to say, you better live for the day because you might not be here tomorrow. And I'm gonna tell you something. I look back on all this stuff. We done lost Frankie Beverly and Babe. We done lost Rich Homie Qua. We done lost what's the name for the Lion King? What's the king name?
James Earl Jones.
We done lost James Earl Jones. So let me tell you something. You don't never know when you go get your last piece of that old good old stuff. So I'm gonna tell you something. I may not be as young as I used to be, and I may not get it in as much as I used to. But if I got me an opportunity to get me a nice little old tenderoni named Michelle. Oh yeah, Michelle. Oh boy, you got me reminiscing.
It was good.
But if I got me an opportunity to get me some old bumpy grind, I'm gonna get it. And that's
Michelle.
Live today because you may not be here tomorrow.
Let me ask you, bro. Last thing, before I know you're busy schedule, you got all kinds of shit going on. You're probably flying back and forth ESPN right now. And the Michelle girl that everybody you went viral for last night, we got a bet going on here in the studio.
Okay.
Over under. And you just got to give us over under. You just got to give us over under. You don't got to put her privacy out there because I know she said she private. We got an over under on this. How old was she on? 27. Over or under? We got.
You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say, because I'm not gonna beat around the bush. Under. Now it wasn't no R. Kelly like under, but it was under, baby. Like them young. I like them young. When the younger they are, the more freaky they is. I like them nice and young. And she sure was. She was under. And even Ocho said she was fine. So when the news come out, because you already know it is, at some point, just know that Unc was getting it in with a nice young tenderoni under 27.
You got a foot fetish, Unc?
Do I got what?
A foot fetish.
Oh, boy, as much as I've been running, scoring all these touchdowns on these feet, I sure do. I love me some feet because my feet messed up. My feet look like LeBron James. So I sure do got a foot fetish. I love the way them old tenderoni feet look with no corns on.
I respect, man. Listen, I don't know why everybody going at you. I think it's a good look for you. Helps your shows grow. Club Shay Shay.
Of course, a good look. Look, all my merch is sold out. Everything nightcap is sold out. Everything on the website. You can't find nothing over there. So you done right. It's a good look. Now, I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to go live. I'm not going to say that. I'm embarrassed by it. I am totally ashamed. but something good came out of an embarrassing situation, and I am sold out of my merch once again. So, I take it for what it is. I take that check.
I bet you will, man. I know JB thought you had set it up.
I thought it was fake.
He thought it was fake.
I'm gonna keep it real on here. I tried to go on IG Live, and it takes a process. It's literally like 5 steps. Mm-hmm. I don't know how you just threw it on the bed and the motherfucker went live. I gotta be honest. I don't know, man. Did you also win to Mega Millions? Because that shit had to be one of the most. You just throw it up, and that motherfucker hit live. There's just no way. Because I just went through 5 steps and I couldn't even get to live.
Well, maybe it was Mark Zuckerberg. Somebody did it. It wasn't me.
You don't think your homegirl Michelle might have set you up, homie? Like, I think that's my conspiracy.
Look, that's highly possible. It could have been one of those situations where she went live, and I didn't know she went live. So all I did is came home, took my clothes off, threw my phone on the bed. So unless Michelle went live and didn't tell me, it didn't let me know, or unless I got hacked because somebody else went live, I don't know how it happened. I'm just glad that they didn't show me.
Did you have a midget on his knees behind you guys?
Look. Hey, look, Coach, I'm gonna tell you something. I don't know what went down and how it happened, but I'm just so glad it didn't have me on there, because I would have been way more embarrassed than I am now.
Last question for me. Has your DMs been like popping even more in the last 24 hours? Like, have all the ladies been trying to get some piece of club shay, a piece of unk?
Look, let me. I'm gonna tell y'all something right now. This exclusive right here. Don't nobody even know this yet. I done got me an offer from Pornhub.
Are you kidding me?
Pornhub did offer me $1 million to go live and have sex and be sponsored by Pornhub. Now, I done told y'all this first. Don't nobody know that. So when it hit TMZ, when it hit social media, just know I said it right here with Smitty and Coach JB first.
Exclusive news. Exclusive.
That's exclusive news. And if you don't believe it, Google it after we hang up.
Well, man,
I got one last question. One last question, man, before we let you go.
Okay, Coach.
I heard the name Michelle.
Okay.
But I'm hearing some very, very interesting takes. I got a few friends over at ESPN that text me, and I gotta ask you, man. Did you just use the name Michelle, but the real name starts with M as well, as in Molly Quorum?
Oh my God!
Was that Molly Quorum? Keep it real, is that Molly Quorum, homie? Was that Molly Quorum? Keep it real, was that Molly Quorum?
Come on now. Hey, come on now. Now you being messy. Now you know that Stephen A. stuff. You know that Stephen A. stuff. You coming over here, you being messy now. Now you being messy. Now I'm not gonna confirm or deny. But I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna say. You try to give me a Stephen A. and I can't, and then you gonna walk off. You know you was wrong for that. Oh boy, you was wrong for that. You wrong for that, Coach. You asked me, y'all wrong, man.
Hey, as long as it wasn't mean at times.
No.
As long as it wasn't mean at times, I'm good with you.
Oh, man.
Again, proving my point that the dick riders in the chat are absolute jokes. You guys are fucking embarrassing, homie. The ones that really come out and are dead ass serious. That ain't Shannon Sharpe. Do you know how embarrassing you are, homie? No shit, Sherlock's homeboy. You fucking idiots. No shit. You motherfuckers act like we're really trying to get over on you. For $1.99. You fucking idiot. Shut up. God damn, some of you fucks are embarrassing. G Wizzle, shut the fuck up. You're one of those cats that used to get the fuck beat out of them in the hallway in class during your senior year of high school. They used to push you down in the fucking hallways. That's who you are, G Wizzle. So Shut up. You're a fucking nobody. God damn you, DEI fuck. Shut up. You're just a fucking nobody, G Wizzle. Show your face, motherfucker. How about you do that for one time, G Wizzle? You're a member and don't show your face. That says a lot. Best time of the hour, best time of the day. Because it's the best time because I get to light my stick up. And I want to show something real quick before we bring our main man in, Big Matt McChesney. I want to show a video real quick. Bring Matt in, Veda. Can you bring Matt in and the video?
Yeah.
Matt,
what's good, dog?
What's good, man? Just solo
dolo.
Solo dolo for a few days. I had Big Jeff yesterday help me co-host. Tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Smitty's still on location at Fox. So
you want me to do an hour with you on one of those days?
Yeah, if you get free, we'll do I'll do an hour.
Monday, you want to do like 90 minutes or some shit?
Yeah, Monday we'll do it up to Sean King and Weddle. So you'll start at 7 to 8 or 7
to 8 to 9. My time.
Yeah, you're 8 to 9. You're 8
cool, brother. I can fuck with that. Let's do it.
Let's see if two alphas can go a whole hour without just like cussing each other out. Let's see it.
I don't know if that's possible, but fuck it.
That's what I say. Fuck it. We just saw two alphas talking about Nick Saban and Bill Belichick in the same room, and everyone was like, "What is this, real talk or jaw jacket?" No, it's just two alphas actually talking together, and we just can't. We don't have that. We don't have that anymore. But I want to show you a video, Matt, real quick, and I want to say something. Take a look at this. Great. Half of those guys went to Boulder. Half of them came to LA. Half of them went to Philly. Half of them went to Chicago. Half of them went to fucking New York. Half of them are in San Diego. Half of them are in Oakland. Half of them are in fucking Texas. Half of them are in now fucking Baltimore. Half of them now are in fucking Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Half of them are now. Can I be honest, Matt?
I mean, that's kind of what you do, dog. So yeah, let's roll.
That's not only impeachable. This shouldn't just be impeachable. This is treason. It's fucking treason, Matt.
Treason, dog. It's bad. Yeah.
Is that not treason, homie? Like, this is fucking disgusting. It's really disgusting.
Look, I'm not the most political guy.
But you don't have to be, right? We don't have to be political.
You almost have to do something about it now with how crazy it is. And I'm scared. The left scares the shit out of me, but at the same time, the fucking right scares the shit out of me too with some of their shit and the crazy religious stuff. But look, I hope Trump wins. That's who I'm going to vote for. I can't vote for a captain train. I just can't do it. If she's,
I mean, it's just fake, Matt. It's fake.
Yeah. If she was willing to get on her knees for a rapper, God knows what she'll do for, a world leader. So,
Putin.
I hope that we can just have the election and it's not dirty or rigged I really hope people don't start shooting at each other, honestly.
Matt, you and I have good intuition, though, and I just don't see a fair fight. I don't see a fair fight. Like, it seems to me that this thing is rigged from the jump, and it seems like it's just continued to get more rigged. She came out and had to I'm going to be honest, if the American people, and I know Matt and I are the last two you probably want to hear politics from, but if the American people really vote for this broad, after she came out, Matt, and said, hey, listen, I know half of your state, North Carolina, is underwater, but here's $750.
Oh, dude, I'm really glad you brought that up.
I said $600 million to illegals housing them in San Diego. By the way, just San Diego alone, we spent $20 million on illegals housing them. Matt, housing them. We don't even want to talk about what they've done in Colorado with housing them. We don't want to talk about Chicago and New York. But FEMA's out of money, Matt. So $750 is all we can afford. I hope you guys still vote for me.
That's some dirty shit. Yeah, especially when we're sending all the money we are to Ukraine and God knows wherever else.
Israel, Iran, wherever, Hamas.
I mean, look, that's some dirty shit. I feel for those folks down south, man. That's nasty. But hey, look, man, this is the world we live in. So thank God there's sports where we can like be distracted from this shit. We can focus on that shitty shit. Although
doesn't take away what's
I mean,
happening.
in the last week, like Goff went 18 for 18 and Cousins went for 509 last night. I mean, are we seeing kind of these quarterbacks loosen up and play better?
No. Unfortunately, no. I started the show. I tried to go that way, but no. We haven't had two games. We haven't had the same game. We haven't had a game where two quarterbacks were actually good. Baker threw for 170 yards last night.
Yeah, but he threw for 3 tutties. But he did they did shelf him and played over the top on him pretty hard.
509. I watched it. 54 attempts. I still don't see this team winning in December and January unless they get Bijan. You got to get Bijan more involved, in my opinion, to sustain
I know, dog, but 509, that's impressive. I haven't seen 500 yards in a while.
And they should have lost.
They should have lost. You're right.
That's my point. And you and I are two to talk about this. Like, unless you get this thing more, I guess, foundational, meaning I have to sustain the clock in the run game. And if you look at it, Matt, the Bucs lost because they didn't do the same thing on offense and gave them the ball back with 1:13. If you lost the game on offense, Bucs, not defense. Yep. You lost it on offense, giving them the ball back. And I could say that about Lincoln Riley at USC at Michigan this year. They lost the game on offense. They lost to a team that threw for 32 yards and had to run the football to beat you because you gave them the ball back with 1:30. If you would have gave them the ball back with 40 seconds, like you should have, they would have had to throw the football.
Yeah.
So I just don't understand what guys are doing on offense to help their other offense. Like, I don't understand.
There's so much time management plays into the NFL, too. Look, it plays into college football just as much. It's just more amplified in the league because there's only 16 games. And in college, there's 100 games. So it's amazing to me how many coaches and quarterbacks, mind you, like, they don't know what, and I understand I'm an old head saying this, but they don't know what Kodak means. They don't know how to, like, frame a defense with extra timeouts in the second quarter when you have 3 timeouts and you don't need them to make sure you can get the 4th down. Like, they don't utilize the 2-minute warning the way they're supposed to by saving more time before it by taking a timeout at times. There's no, like, urgency with your clock management. It's panic. And then the coach, there's a lot, like, Sirianni's a huge fucking corporate of this, but I don't know if I've ever seen anybody worse with time management with that cat. He's fucking terrible. Like, do you just not have anybody in your ear? Is it stubborn shit? Like, as a head coach, I think time management is on the HC, right? Like, that might be your number one fucking goal. Like, not to fuck up the clock so we have a chance to win.
You can't blame nobody else. Like, I'm just saying, like, here's the thing. All week long, I've been on these coaches' heads because 3 years ago, I believe you and I discussed the hiring of Sirianni at his press conference when I was on McAfee, and we made a big deal of it because everyone was like, who the fuck is this nerdy weirdo? Remember that first presser when he took the Eagles job?
Oh, yeah.
And I think we were on this show when he took that job. And a year later, he's in the Super Bowl, and we're all like, oh, well, he's the right guy, blah, blah, blah. Mike McDaniel, I said when he got hired, this is a fucking spreadsheet creator. He's not the fucking inventor of the offense for the San Francisco 49ers, just FYI. You and I said it. We didn't know anything, though. The 49ers really hit rock bottom since he left, you fucking idiots. But anyway, he is who I said he was. Eventually, that NFL grown men in that locker room will eventually see through you and say, holy shit, did you just leave a Diddy party? Like, this guy looks fucked up on the sideline, bro. This is not a head coach of men. And that team looks fucking horrific. And I don't care if it's with Tua or not. We know Tua helps this team, but they are bad at quarterback. They should have made a move and got a Tannehill or somebody that just somebody to glue the crack for a couple weeks. I don't understand what they're doing there. Huntley looks god-awful. And if you look around the league, maybe Flores knew what the fuck he was talking about in Miami after all.
Yeah, he's a hell of a defensive coordinator, no doubt. I think he's just – I don't know if he's not much of a people person or if it's just this generation.
No, he's a football coach, Matt. He's a coach like you and I. We used to actually like. We used to like that guy.
I probably love playing for him. He seems like the kind of ass kicker you want. Look, I'm conflicted here because I don't understand how we can have as much talent on the field as we do, and it can still be bad at times. But also, it's very entertaining. I thought Goff was incredible. Look, the way that Dan Campbell managed the game, and he's not like immune to this. And remember the NFC title game where they had a huge lead in the second half, and he fucked up the time management there, didn't kick field goals, and they lost. So he's not immune to this by any means. But the way that he handled Monday night's game against Seattle with Geno throwing for almost 50 attempts and going off and having a good night, but then Goff just going 18 for 18 and being really, really, fishing with the ball, putting it on Jameson Williams for that touchdown, the throwing him open into that zone. I know you like that shit. And just the way they hammered the fucking rock up front and playing into their strengths. I think Detroit's defense is good. I don't think they're elite by any means. I think you can definitely score on them. Anzalone is a good middle linebacker, but they need to upgrade that position probably while they drafted Campbell. We'll see what happens there. But that's an example of really effective, efficient quarterback play and doing it correctly. So the time management thing is like week by week, because really the only guy I don't see screwing up time management consistently is Andy. I mean, Andy Reid, he's just him. Like he's one of the only coaches I don't see panicking. He's always the same. He never really fucks up your time management, puts Mahomes and Kelsey and them boys in a bad position because they're probably doing that to themselves. I know they're undefeated, but there's some holes on that team too. So I don't know, man. I'm very eager to see because now we're in October. The first month of the season is an extension of the preseason. So, we'll see what happens in October moving forward. But I'm more optimistic about the NFL moving forward right now than I was at the beginning of the season. The first 2 weeks were god-awful.
Yeah. Speaking of the devil, shout out to our big-time show sponsor, DV Sport. We're the only ones showing NFL film and not get copyrighted. We're getting the film faster now. Yeah, I know. We're getting
speaking of the devil,
Hey, we're getting film faster now from my main man over at DV Sport, and we got the Monday night game right here. The 18 for 18 game on Detroit specifically. No Mazzoni's on every Wednesday. We do an Eye on the Sky.
I love Coach Mazzoni, dog. He's the fucking man, bro.
Have you seen? I don't know if you watched any pure episode, but we've broken it down. I kind of agree with him. Him and I got to agree. 18 for 18 is great, but this is the new era of football that we're in, though. Like, there's no unsafe throws. Kirk Cousins made some unsafe throws last night. He threw the ball at the ear of a backer running to the flat, right? That's anticipatory. He's throwing that ball, anticipating that the ball gets batted and picked, but he threw it on time. Those are dig cuts, in cuts. Cousins looked like an NFL guy last night in the most part, in the most way, right? The golf performance was great because I think it's great in the new football era that we call dink and dunk. Do you disagree?
No, I think there's a lot of underneath throws these days. I mean, we can't say that there's not. The check down is more prevalent than it's ever been.
I'll show it, Matt. What do I do, man? This?
What the fuck is this, man?
Hold
on,
Matrix. I gotta figure it out.
I do think that there's
Bailey, shut up! Tired of seeing you in the background. Shut the fuck up. God damn, homie.
Okay, so
you pay me, motherfucker, or do I pay you? Holy fuck, man. I'm so fucking tired of 21-year-olds, Matt, telling grown men what the fuck to do. Holy shit, man. God damn. Fuck, baby, relax, homie. God damn. How do we do it? Just tell me how to do it. You know I don't. Fuck me. God damn.
I was saying like
Matt, you deal with this shit?
Not really. He's pretty smooth with me.
Good job, Bailey. Shit.
The Jameson Williams throw for Detroit on Monday night, the way he threw that open into the zone with the safety overplaying it a little bit, that was an impressive throw. Kirk Cousins, got away with some throws last night that, look, and you can take this either way. 20 years ago, you're not getting away with that throw against Rodney Harrison. He's taking your head off. But the game has changed, and you can't do that anymore across the middle. So it allows the quarterbacks and receivers more opportunity to make plays and less opportunity to be soft-brained later in life. So I don't know if that's better or worse for the game. I guess time will only tell. Look, if the game is going to be catered toward the offense from a rules perspective, and they want scoring up the way I know they do, then look, you have to be excited about a 36-30 overtime thriller with 509 yards passing. That's what they're looking for. So maybe the rules are catering to them a little bit better.
See if Bailey pulls it up now. Can it work?
Is this the throw?
Do you see the game?
Yeah, I can see it right now. They're 20-21. I clean.
I don't have my remote.
Scissor, 2x1. Yeah.
Remote, I don't have the remote like we normally do. So there's 1 for 1, Matt, right there. Let's rewind a little bit. A little boot naked, right? Keep them safe. Throw it underneath. Not putting in nothing in harm's way. He's got levels here, right? We got old school spacing levels, a boot naked. We got a waggle concept.
1, 2, 3, exactly, perfect. Yep.
We got clear, Matt. We got clear. Oh shit! Here's a tight copy.
I clean with your
Coach,
motion there from the Y.
Sorry, what, Bailey?
Do you make it full screen?
Nah, that's the problem. I don't have my remote. Nah.
Oh, fuck.
Is it shitty?
No, we can see
it's a little choppy.
We can see it. It's just if you
want to find the play that we're talking about, it'd probably be better. But like going through every play, it's pretty choppy.
Yeah, fuck it. I just wanted to show.
I think people understand what we're talking about.
Yeah. I just wanted to show like the concept, basically meaning he's not throwing the ball in harm's way a lot this game. And 18 throws.
Is that what you and Noel are doing? Are you guys breaking down shit like that?
Yeah, kind of just. Let me get rid of this, Bailey. Let me get rid of this. We'll go back to my computer's running slow too, so my bad.
Yeah, it's all good, Doug.
I can't show it. The other issue, Matt, I wanted to be. We're breaking down he's breaking down everything, and he's starting to call out people now because he's not coaching no more. And he's like, fuck them. I'm starting to call these people out. He kind of went at Lane a little bit. He's like, we call these guys the gurus, but they played Furman, Georgia State, Wake Forest, and then you get beat by Kentucky. And Kentucky
look, I gotta tip my cap to Stoops, though. I mean, Mark had a great game plan. They almost beat Georgia. They lost 13-12. That defense is pretty good. They play hard. And the Kentucky group has really bought into what Stoops has brought there. Remember, before Stoops got to Kentucky, it was Tim Couch and the hefty lefty, and that's about it. So I do got to tip my cap to him. I understand that it's a bad loss for Ole Miss, but goddamn, that's a great win for Kentucky. So
let me ask you this. Going back to the golf game we were just showing, Noel and I both think Gino played and looked better than golf. And the reason we said it was Gino's balls and throws were all basically big time. You know what I'm saying? He was actually surgical and throwing deep digs and curls. And you saw the other side, 18 for 18, and all the fantasy fucks out here will think, oh, you got my 40 points on a fantasy. Gino's out there dicing, like Bailey was bringing up on the show earlier this week. He was actually throwing dig cuts on time and fucking in cuts. And his percentage wasn't 18 of 18, but he threw for almost 400 too?
He went off as well. That was one entertaining fucking football game. You can't say it
that was the best game in my opinion.
That was a good ass game. Yeah, that was a fucking great game. So look, man, watching good quarterback play is poetic. It's supposed to be. It's incredibly hard to do, and it's something that you just have to sit back and admire. You know what I'm saying? But watching bad quarterback play, on the other hand, is like torture. It's fucking like getting waterboarded, bro. And I don't know how that feels, but it's apparently like watching fucking, some of these guys play quarterback consistently.
So last night, Cousins, I think, was 42 of 56, 42 of 58.
Yeah, something like that.
46
of 58.
Gino was 38 of 56 for 400 and a touchdown that game. And Walker had 3 rushing touchdowns that game, who I like a lot.
That Walker kid can play. Hey, I don't know if it was a missed tackle or a suplex, but that was crazy how he just rolled over. That was nuts.
3 times he went boom, 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 boom. And then last night I did a video, Bailey. I don't know if you can find it. I did a video last night of what Roger Goodell calls NFL safety. And this guy drops his fucking head, completely misses a goal line tackle. And now you want to talk about fantasy and betting, Matt? Guess what? Now you got me pissed because I took Bijan Robinson to be the first touchdown scorer of the game. And guess what? It would have happened if the fucking guy on defense knew how to tackle and not do this, Matt. But
you don't tackle him. They don't tackle him in practice anymore, dog.
Safety first, Matt. Don't drop your eyes and break your neck, though. Don't worry about that.
Well, the thing is, in my opinion, you can be as safe as you want. I personally think that the harder you play and the more physical we are, with the exception of like launching and shit like that, I think it's better.
Come on,
man. Yeah, man, you're gonna like guys have forgotten how to really like explode through and roll their hips and finish. Everything's an arm tackle now, which is why we have so many labrums and shoulders. Not to say we didn't have the same thing in the past. Everybody puts the shoulder up eventually. It's a bad tackle.
Is that not like paraplegic waiting to happen?
Well, everybody's just trying to strike instead of tackle. So the rugby roll is the way they should be teaching it, where you just around the waist, try and secure the knees and then roll your body. But then they're also out trying to outlaw the drop, and that can be considered a drop tackle too. So eventually everybody's going to be in flags, man. And that sucks because flag football is not very fun.
Ohtani made the game-winning field goal, and again, he's actually killing it. I think he's got 2 game winners late in the season. Let me ask you something. I don't know if you watched the end of that game, but they marked the ball after the first down. And I don't know who was right or wrong. I didn't pay attention. Did you pay attention to the referees? Was the ball marked and the clock started, or was that ball, should it have been reset? Because it surely went fast, and it surely didn't seem like they had the play clock went all the way down and started over to me. But it backed them up 5 yards. So this guy comes out, Matt, to take a 47-yarder, and now he's kicking a 54-yarder or 52-yarder.
That's a big difference.
Like,
I will say this. This son of a bitch can fucking rake the ball. He's got a 9-9 on his fucking hip. He can really kill it. So
Ohtani.
I mean, he's a hell of a so look. He missed one earlier in the game, but he's pretty automatic when it comes down to the clutch kicks. You would like for the refs, again, not to fuck you, but that's what refs are there to do. Refs are there to fuck everyone and make sure that no one has any fun, which sucks. So
take a listen to my announcement here, Matt, on that video. Ohtani! Let's go! Don't fuck me, Ohtani!
I was listening to Ocho Cinco and Shannon Sharpe's podcast when they had Coach Prime on.
That's in the business!
And they were talking about, I don't know how to say his name, but Shannon called him, how do you say the dude's name?
Ohtani?
Oh, no, the kickers. What's his name?
Koo, I think.
Kuho or Kuyo? Because that's exactly what Shannon.
Younghoe Koo, I believe.
What did he say?
Younghoe Koo.
And what did Shannon Sharpe say?
Koo is how it's
spelled. Called him Younghoe Way. That shit was fucking funny, dog.
It's Younghoe Koo. Younghoe Koo.
You're laughing. Yeah, Younghoe. Younghoe Koo.
I don't have 2 Younghoes. I don't have Diddy Younghoes, but I got Younghoes. I got younger hoes.
That's a sick fuck, that guy. Jesus Christ.
If you need any baby oil, though, I got it. Let's dive into let's dive into some football before you get out of here.
No Diddy diving into nothing.
You guys, hey, Colorado, you guys got a bye week. Got K-State on the slate next week. Just give the fans an insight. What are they working on this week to get ready for K-State, who's the ranked opponent, their first of the year?
Look, both K-State's on a bye too, so it's who handles the freedom, of a 3-day weekend correctly. Are we partying or are we just kind of resting up? This isn't an old school Big 8, Big 12 rivalry game, bro. Like, this was a division game for us for every year we played. So there's no love lost between the fan bases, but the players need to revitalize the rivalry, and they will. 8:15 kickoff is nuts. I mean, everybody thought moving to the Big 12 we would get rid of this time slot, but they just moved the Big 12 into it. So I think it's going to be a hell of a game, bro. I like their quarterback. I think Kleiman, their coach, is a stud. I love the way that they develop people. Coach Riley, their offensive line coach and run game coordinator, is a bad man. He does things right. I think CU's getting better and better every week, and this is a huge litmus test for them because Kansas State's just a foundational program. Like, since Bill Schneider took over there back in the day, they just do things the way they do things in Manhattan, and it works. And I can say this out of experience. If you show up ready to play, you're going to be in a dogfight. And if you don't show up ready to play, they will fuck you up. And it is just the way Kansas State rolls. They are notorious for beating folks they're not supposed to beat, but they're also notorious for dropping games that they're not supposed to drop too. So that does happen. So look, I think this game has potential to be really, really fucking good. And a great nightcap for Saturday.
Yeah,
hey,
it's gonna be
let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
What is wrong with the people in your comments, dog? There are some really are they just mad at themselves or something? Like,
yeah, Jeff co-hosted yesterday. So Smitty I told Jeff, I said, hey man, welcome to Smitty's world. Smitty gets butchered every day on here. And then Jeff
like, what is wrong with everybody, dog? Are you guys okay?
No, then Jeff comes in and then they bash him, and then
you okay?
you're never gonna fucking like please these fucks.
No, I'm not trying to please them. I just like
I know.
Are you guys okay, guys? Like, Jesus.
They have no life. Like, seriously, they have no life.
Seems awful. Like, you guys trying to have a good Friday because some of y'all are. Woo!
They're bottom feeders, bro. They have no pussy. Instead of
I hope you're okay, guys. That's all.
Instead of fucking the prom queen like we did, they got fucked by the prom queen or king.
Yeah, man. I don't think I can read the chat anymore. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I haven't read it. I haven't seen it. It's a bunch of nobody. We're gonna go members only soon. When we get this show, well, we got the show getting pretty big, so we gotta start going members only.
We appreciate you though, even the haters, bro. Hope you guys have a good Friday.
Yeah, we love them. Let me ask you something though, real quick. How important? I try to tell because Weddle's coming off a bye week. They play tonight. And I told Weddle, I said, he goes, JB, what was your number one thing as a coach? I go, win bye week. I said, you have to. And people don't understand what it means. People don't get winning bye week is like a real thing. People think it's a joke. Okay, we're going to go 1-0. No, seriously, it's not a joke. Like, you could fuck around and give your guys off and be lackadaisical as shit and fuck around and lose bye week, and you'll lose in the next week. I guarantee.
Oh, yeah.
We won bye week.
You might not just lose in the next week. You might just lose forever. Like,
Matt,
consistently. You know
I was
like,
more of an asshole. I was the biggest asshole to my staff and players on bye weeks just to make sure that these fucks knew that I was fucking serious. This was no fucking walk in the park. We went Monday off, obviously. Not off, but we went Monday no gear. We went weights, kind of just get the blood black flowing, watch film, issued scouting reports for the next opponent, even though we're a week early. So they had all that shit a week in advance. And then we did a lot of running and lifting. But Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 5 a.m., we were practicing full go, full gear. And then Thursday, Friday afternoon, we did something fun. I took them to the lake. I did something. Because remember, we're in rural Kansas. It's not like, now if guys wanted to go home for the weekend, I let them. You drove through that fucking hole. I told you, hey, if you want to go home, if you guys got money and you want to fly home for the weekend, I'll let you. I'll let you guys leave Friday. But there ain't none of this. I see too many coaches. Oh, coach, I got a flight for Wednesday. Okay, well, go ahead and miss practice. You're missing the game.
Jeez.
It's bye week. It's bye week. See the mentality, though, they've ingrained in high school and lower levels? They've ingrained it to these kids. It's okay to miss and go ahead and leave early. No, it's not. So
look, the bye week is a tricky thing, especially now with social media and the access that everyone has to everybody all the time. You can really put yourself in a sticky situation, figuratively and literally, if you don't handle it correctly. So, look, if it's me, I'm posted up and I'm trying. If we're gonna party and have a good time, do it behind closed doors, and put yourself in a position to actually be successful. And then, but also if you have a lot of potential on your football team, like K-State and Colorado both do, man, you need to be real fucking smart about what you're doing this weekend and not put your team in position to look shitty because you're selfish. Like there's a lot of shit that's bigger than football or bigger than the opportunity to go party and be on a bye. A bye is an opportunity to recover. You're not on vacation. Like, let's be fucking real. The vacation starts. Vacation starts when the season's over and you've achieved your goal.
Keith, Matt just answered the question. Yeah, you know what the excuse was? Death.
No, man.
Death.
If you miss practice, you're not playing.
There is no reasonable excuse. See, the reasonable excuse, you can come up with a million reasonable excuses in your mind. Oh, I got a family reunion. Don't you love that one in June and July when you're starting camp? In August? Camp. I got a family reunion. I got a family reunion, coach. Guess what? I gave you a schedule in fucking March. You knew about that.
There's some really awful excuses these days. I can only imagine how bad they get in college when it's just blatant lies to your face. But this is the worst part about lying. You have to remember it.
And the
But
people
you have
that
to
are
remember what you said.
anybody in the chat that are with Keith is why America's pussy now. It's because of you. It's because of you fucks. You guys have excuses for excuses.
I don't know who you are, Keith. Everything's your fault, apparently.
It's you're an asshole. You're a mean cuss. No, excuses are for excuses. Guess what? I have excuses too, dog. That's what they don't get, Matt. Fuck me. But don't worry about my time and effort I've put into this fucking thing. But worry about your fucking shitty ass excuses. Don't worry about our time and my time. Let's worry about only your fucking enabled ass excuses. I can't stand this fucking generation. I can't stand this generation. I'm gonna be honest.
I know. I am aware.
Oh fuck! I wish I would eliminate this generation if I fucking could. These guys are the fucking worst. They're the softest fucks.
Hit the button and go to work. Hey, I got like 5 more minutes and I got to take the big one to school.
All right, Travis Hunter came out and commented on this Matt Sluka thing at UNLV. Yep. My good friend is a D-line coach at UNLV. He recruits a lot of the polys there. He's a Polynesian.
UNLV's killing it right now, bro. I think they got better when this kid left.
Oh, they did. It's called addition by subtraction, but what do I know? Travis came out and said NILs can wait. I know it happened a lot to of your teammates happened to this. Your quarterback left and all that. But I'm out there balling on the field. I need all of the film I can get. That's why I love this kid. That's why I think he's the best player in football. Not only because he's on the field, his on the field actions, but off the field actions screams to me that he's serious. I'm not going to change my opinion as far as what side of the ball he plays and playing 2 ways in the NFL and all that. But I think this guy's class act, unfucking believable. I would love to have this kid on my team. No question about it. Who doesn't want to coach this guy is a fucking idiot. But what do you have to say about him addressing Matthew Sluka for chasing a bag and not the NFL? This is what you and I talk about all the time. The investment is no longer there. They rather stay fucking 8 years in college and make a couple $100,000 instead of actually looking at the NFL as we all grew up wanting to play in, aspiring to be an NFL player. Not a $200,000 college player, I don't think.
Well, I think, look, I agree with you.
You're probably torn. You're probably torn on this, so go ahead.
No, I agree and disagree. I think it's all circumstance and the individual circumstance. So, look, Travis Hunter is maybe the first pick in the draft, if not top 3. Generational talent. He's already making millions off on NIL and endorsements, so his perspective is different, okay? Sluka is, I've never heard of him before this year, and I really doubt he's an NFL draft pick quarterback. His opportunity to make money off of football is college. So he has to try and play the game with his agent and whomever else is in his ear talking to him about this shit, and whoever his consigliere here is on all of this, they have to convince him, and obviously they did, that he's worth X, Y, and Z, and then he has to use whatever leverage he has to try and get his money now, because he's not getting that shit in the league, dog. If he makes an active roster, he'll be league minimum, and that's cool. No one's talking shit. I understand how hard it is to do. You know, my NFL career was shitty. You know, it was full of injuries and position changes, and the business of football is what it is. So what I'm saying is the next level is not really promised. He's in a situation now where he's got to exploit it and leverage it to try and get paid. Unfortunately, I think there's a lot of college guys that are going to be in this position because there's just more college football players than there are NFL guys. So the precedent is if this works for him. So if he goes in the transfer portal, which he did, and he redshirts, which he did, and then all of a sudden next year, when everybody gets picked up out of the portal and somebody cuts this dude a $300,000 check, well, then I think it worked. But I will say this, the CSU quarterback and Horton and Brandon Fowler Nicolosi, if they really got 600 G's each promised to them, or they passed it up because they thought CSU was a fit because Norvell was going to turn them into NFL players, I wonder how deep of a hole in their pocket that burned.
Oh, fuck, my dog got a fox, homie. Get over here. Come here. Let it go.
Did JB's dog just eat?
Hey, remove me, baby. Get over here.
Remove him, Bailey.
Big Matt, what's going on?
Hey, so shit just went off at Fox and the Hound fucking crib over there with Coach JB. So look, I'll see you at 1, 2.
2. So 2 Eastern, 12 Mountain.
Let's do noon. I got to pick my kid up at 1.
So noon.
I didn't know that until I dropped them off.
So noon Mountain.
Yeah, or even 11:30, so I'm not late picking them up.
All right, I'll move it back. 11:30.
11:30 or noon.
Yep.
11:30.
Yeah, 11:30 Mountain, 1:30 Eastern.
Okay. All right, cool. So I hope JB's okay. I'm gonna take the other one to school, and we'll kick ass when we see our show today. Okay.
Sounds good, man.
Hey,
Big Matt, thanks for joining me. I
appreciate
you.
Hey, that shit with Deacon yesterday was fucking fire.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
That
was really
vertical
cool.
was dope too, man. His mom was all fucking crying and shit, emotional. Oh, this is amazing. I'm like, fuck yeah, T. That's the way it goes. So pretty fucking
really
cool,
nice
bro.
to see. Great show. If you haven't checked it out, Big Matt's kid, Deacon Schmidt, got an offer from Colorado, and JB's back.
Fox here. All right, so I'm out. Peace, Bailey. I'll see you at 11:30,
Hey,
Coach.
fuck your show. All right, good job.
See you, Big Matt. You good?
Man, motherfuckers had a fox.
A fox?
They were dragging a fox through my fucking dog hole, homie. I just locked it down and got them in here. These motherfuckers, man. You're fucking got an ACL injury. What are you grabbing foxes for, homie?
It was Callie. Was it Ash?
Both of them had a motherfucker.
Jeez.
Come here.
All
Let me see.
right.
Are you bleeding? Come here.
Well, we're going to go to first round performance. We're going to do a quick first round performance commercial. When we come back, we'll do a college football betting segment. Shaun King will join the show, break down Colorado Bucks football, quarterback play, and much more. But we'll be back in about 5 minutes. Peace.
What up, man? This is a proud new sponsor of the Coach JB Show with Big Smitty, and it is First Round Performance.
Yeah.
Make sure you head on over to firstroundperformance.com. We got the merch, the gear. They are top-notch company.
High quality, JB. All about the quality here. Workout gear, exclusive gear. What's that right there, JB?
By the way, nobody else in the country or the world has this short right here. You can put this short on. It helps your back. It helps your hamstrings, helps your quads as you work out.
What?
You can wear these right underneath your workout shorts or what have you. It's kind of like a girdle, but very, very comfortable. Shorts Against Syndrome. It's SAFS. Go head on over there and check it out. First Round Performance.
JB, they got workout bands. They got ankle weights.
What's this?
What's in that box?
Kind of good.
It's our first time seeing this.
What's this?
I'm nervous. What's that?
It's a 40-yard dash electric timer. You can go get your workout on with the light and the strobe, the whole deal. Firstroundperformance.com.
Oh, you just turned it on, JB.
Bam.
You want that smoke?
Go check it out.
I know you ain't trying to race me, JB.
I might race Smitty and smoke him.
You ain't trying to race me. You scared of that life.
Yeah, this is real deal. You guys got to go check it out. FirstRoundPerformance.com. Head on over there. Proud new sponsor of the Coach JB Show.
This is nice, JB.
With Big Smitty. And
this is mine, right?
Hell yeah. Listen, their premium gear, including the revolutionary SAFS shorts I just showed you, are expertly designed by a leading orthopedic surgeon to align your hips and relieve your pain. It is trusted by athletes and active individuals alike, whether you are pushing your limits with their high-quality resistance bands, as Smitty just showed you, or boosting recovery with the powerful dual-spectrum red light therapy devices that I just showed you. First Round Performance delivers the tools needed to stay at the top of your game. Whether aiming for peak performance or simply wanting to live pain-free, they've got you covered. Visit FirstRoundPerformance.com or shop on Amazon today. They just launched their Amazon store.com, their Amazon store. This is out there, First Round Performance on Amazon. And so go help them out and grab some performance gear today. And please feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions.
Yes, sir.
Go First Round.
Go First Round, baby.
The promo code will be Coach JB. So check that out and head on over there today.
Get right, baby. First Round, the highest quality.
First Round Performance. Go get you some merch.
Ooh, I like this shirt. I like this shirt, JB.
Peace. We are back. God damn. Hey, baby, do we have that QR code? Make sure you guys hit that QR code for First Round Performance. You go right to Amazon, and it'll take you right to Amazon, and you could get you can use the QR code right with your phone. Right with your phone, boom. We'll have it on the screen, and you can use it. Goes right to Amazon, FirstRoundPerformance.com. Bailey will pull it up here in a minute, and you guys can use it. Okay, so see, this is why you got right there. Click that right there. First Round Performance goes right to Amazon. Click it with your phone, and go get you some of that amazing shit. It's not cheap shit. I'm just telling you right now. And remember, you get what you pay for. So, okay, let me be clear here. It's embarrassing when I hear you guys act as if you first, A, know where I'm at, and B, tell me there's no foxes in California. I mean, it's unfucking believable. First of all, I'm in the fucking mountains. There are foxes here, and I see them all the time. I know the difference between a fucking coyote and a fox, and foxes come down when the dogs are inside thinking they could get away. Well, Ash is a motherfucker. He snatched that motherfucker. Callie grabbed him too. And guess what? They were about to wear that motherfucker out if I didn't break out and grab this motherfucker through the dog door in my fucking lounge. So just throwing it out there. By the way, if you don't know, definitely no foxes where I am. God damn. It's unbelievable. It's fucking embarrassed me. I'm done talking to some of you fucking know-it-alls. Let's dive into, we got Shaun King joining us here on the other side. Ash, you're a bad boy. You don't grab foxes like that. There are definitely foxes in the IE, you fucking idiots. God. It's unbelievable, man. There's no talking to you, motherfucker. There's no reasoning with you fucks. We also have mountain lions. Yeah. I am in the mountains, by the way. Shout out to Ash and Callie representing for the hood. Now, if I said there was a bear, then you could call me something. There are bears, but not where I'm at. So, just throwing that out there. If you haven't noticed, though, by the way, there's a very huge donkey population out here. If you haven't noticed, there's more foxes and coyotes kicking it with each other lately than you've seen more than ever. You should go check that out. Find it out. Because everything's thrown off. Why do you think there's more sharks fucking attacking people than normal right now? Hey, Bailey, come in real quick. Eat up 30 seconds. I got to grab my coffee. I forgot it.
That's all good. Chat, talk to me. How are we doing here on this fine Friday here?
Promote fucking Matt's show some more.
Well,
come on, Callie.
We're going to be live on 0 to 60 here at 1:30 Eastern, 11:30 a.m. Mountain. Bye-week Blues. Colorado's on a bye week this week. They take on K-State October 12th, so that's going to be a hell of a game. But, head over there at 1:30. We're about to get into some college football betting here. We'll talk Saturday's games, tonight's games. You got 3 good games. Probably most notable is UNLV and Syracuse. I believe UNLV is 6.5-point favorites in that game. I think that's a very good line for Syracuse to cover, although I do think UNLV will probably pull it out and win. But Syracuse is led by Kyle McCord, former Ohio State quarterback who looks pretty damn good this season. So there's a lot of good games coming up.
Keith, shut the fuck up. No, Iowa doesn't have a shot at Ohio State. Shut the fuck up. Holy shit. Keith Smith, you're another one. I'm about to fucking block your big titty hanging ass. You and G Wizzle are two I think you're the same motherfucker. I'm going to be honest with you. I think you two are the same fuck.
Yeah, I don't think Iowa has a shot at all, unfortunately. I mean,
God damn.
They'll play good defense. They can't score, bro. This is what it is.
Iowa State's not going undefeated either. Sorry. Fucking Keith Smith. You fucking nobody. Cornhole's another one. Those 3, I think, have the same daddy, different mamas.
Really?
I'm just throwing it out there.
I can see that.
All right, Bailey, real quick before Shaun King jumps in, give me I don't know if you have a schedule or anything, but we got some schedule tonight.
Let's start with this.
Interesting games tonight.
Tonight? You want to talk tonight?
Real quick, because there's some interesting ones I know.
Let's talk UNLV Syracuse. What are your thoughts on that game? UNLV is obviously led by their new quarterback, not Matthew Sluka anymore. It's Hodge Malik Williams. Steve Kim obviously highlighted him on Wednesday. Syracuse led by Kyle McCord. What are your thoughts on this game?
Fuck, this suit, this pink and gray suit is just blowing my fucking mind, man.
Right, Clark.
Listen, if UNLV wins, I don't think there's another threat on their schedule. This is
I agree.
Threat. This is their last threat. I think they're better than everybody else roster-wise. Odom has built a powerhouse. I think UNLV runs the table if they get by tonight's game. Kyle McCord's playing better than a lot of people in the country, in my opinion, including Kyle McCord. I mean, including Will what's his name in Ohio State?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree.
I think McCord's playing better than what's his name in Ohio State? Will Howard. I think he's playing better, and it's crazy how they swapped them. I think he's playing as good as a lot of these guys. So, listen, they get through Syracuse, who's better than a lot of people thought they'd be this quick under a new head coach. UNLV's going to run the table.
I agree.
I don't think Bailey's very – I don't think Bailey. Who's on Bailey's show, Scott asked you, and you can address it later. I don't think Boise can beat UNLV, even though the running back's unbelievable. I think UNLV's too talented.
Yeah, I don't think Boise defensively is going to be able to stop UNLV's offense, not that go-go offense led by Mary and the OC.
Who else is in that conference? Who else would they have to play? Wyoming?
I think did they already play?
Air Force?
I see Air Force. I don't know if Air Force is what they are. I don't think they're like what they were last year. You know what I mean? I mean, not going damn near 10 wins. So, so Syracuse. They've played a hell of a season so far. They got beat by Stanford at home, actually, which I was really surprised by. Stanford made that cross country travel up to Syracuse and went in there and beat the shit out of them. So, I mean, that's the only thing I see on their schedule that kind of raises an eyebrow for me. I don't know.
Yeah, and then Clemson mud stomped Stanford. Clemson's either on a high and they're rolling right now, which I'd be worried if I'm Miami, or Syracuse isn't very good. And we're going to find that out tonight with UNLV.
You mentioned this yesterday, and you said that you think Clemson would beat Georgia if they played today. Do you still believe that?
Mm-hmm.
Why so?
I think they're finally letting them – the offense is actually not restraining the QB and letting him be himself, who he was in Texas at high school as the number one quarterback coming out. He's starting to move. They're getting him on the run. They're running more RPOs. He's having fun. The offense looks funner. Their D-line is better than most in the country. I would say they probably have the best D-line in the country. So that's going to carry them, and it will travel anywhere. So if this offense can just do what they're doing or even half of what they do against a good team, the Syracuse team, this Clemson team could be they can run the table and be in the playoff.
Yeah, fuck. They figured that out in the ACC.
Georgia's not playing well. If you guys know football at all, and you watched Georgia play the last few weeks,
I agree with you.
They're not fucking playing well. So this is not the same game as it would be in game one. This is shit happens. Shit changes. Alabama, when they lost to Texas last year, wasn't the same team as they were at the end of the year when they should have beat Michigan, to be honest.
Yeah.
So that team it's shit happens. Good coach teams get better as the season goes along. Badly coached teams stay the same.
Yeah, no doubt. Let me last thing before we actually get into betting. Do you think that Kentucky or damn near loss for Georgia kind of just, I don't know, killed their confidence in a way? Do you think that's possible at all? Because they looked like unbelievable the first week, few weeks, and that Kentucky, I was like, shit, that's the worst I've seen them look, and they just haven't seemed to be the same since. So I don't know.
The issue I have is Kentucky has to be looking at itself as we fucked this up this year.
Yeah,
by losing to South Carolina.
Yeah, that was
Because if Georgia was their only loss and they beat Ole Miss and they run the table and they're doing these things that we're like, oh shit, Kentucky's a legitimate 8-1 at some point, a 9-1. They're probably gonna look back and say, fuck, man, that South Carolina game.
Yeah.
Let's bring our main man in, Shaun King. We're gonna dive into some.
I'll see y'all soon.
All right, Bailey. Tonight's games. Shaun King, former legendary Bucs quarterback. Somebody sent me some cut-ups last night of Mike Allstott, and Shaun King was the quarterback handing the ball to him every time. What was it? Was that racist?
No.
Hey, was that
Mike,
was he really different? Was he really just different, or was he because he was much quicker and faster than people think?
Yeah, probably the greatest combination of balance, power, change of direction for a big back that I've ever seen.
God damn. So in essence, he was today's like he could play tailback, right?
Yeah, first and second down, absolutely.
No doubt. God damn.
What the hell is Smitty?
Smitty is on assignment at Fox for the next 5 days. 5 days. So I'm rocking solo with just different guests. Yesterday, Jeff did it. Monday, I think Matt will help out for an hour. If you're free Tuesday, Wednesday, let me know. I'm trying to do just different guys until he's back on Thursday. So
you see me repping UNLV tonight. Big matchup, Syracuse.
That's the game I want to talk about first. If Syracuse better than people thought. If UNLV gets by this game, I don't see, other than Boise, but I don't think Boise can beat them just with one running back. I think UNLV runs the table.
I'm pulling up their schedule right now. Hold on one second, JB.
And if they do run the table while you look that up, are they then a playoff team?
Absolutely. I think they're in the driver's seat right now. You think they're going to have 3 Power 4 wins if they beat Syracuse? It'll be Houston, Kansas, and Syracuse. And, Syracuse having a good year. I think their only loss is Stanford at home.
Yeah. I that's why I look at it, though, that's why I don't understand when people don't understand what I mean by watered down. Because we know Willie Fritz is rebuilding an entire program, and he's gutting it from ground up as he does everywhere he goes and takes over. He did it at Sam Houston. He did it at Central Missouri at the Division II level. He did it at the JUCO level. He did it at fucking Tulane. He's done it everywhere. He's doing it right now in Houston. I know how he operates. This is what Willie does. He's not worried. They gave him autonomy. They gave him 4 years at least. He knows what he's doing. So, again, a Power 5 team on your schedule and having beat them will go down on your resume, but it's not necessarily a really good win. That's why I call this a watered down era of football. I don't see a couple of those wins we could argue are watered down on rebuilds when they played those teams. Like UNLV beat who? Houston. Okay, we know who they are, but they're really, in fairness, on a rebuild. They beat who? KU. For whatever reason, they lost their OC. Their quarterback is underachieved this year in Jaden Daniels. And we haven't seen the KU team that we thought a good friend of mine, Lance Leipold, was creating, right? And he'll have time, though. They'll be fine. I think he's a great coach. Those teams are going to go down on your resume as wins, Shaun, but they're not impressive ones, and you look deep into it. So that's why I'm looking at it like, this is watered down, man. They're going to get into a playoff possibly by beating a Houston team that's down and a KU team that could only win 2 or 3 games all year.
Well, you got to add in they play Syracuse, so they have beaten Syracuse as well, and they play Boise State head-to-head. And when you look around the non-power fours, I mean, right now, unless you think Army, Navy, if they run the table, got a legitimate shot, I mean, everybody else is kind of,
Air Force. They got UNLV will have to play Air Force, right? Another school that'll run triple. So is that it's always a bitch to play triple.
Because that go-go offense has so many option principles. I mean, they're probably used to going against it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but under center is a little different ball game. When the back turns and we're running midline at your ass under center and it happens like this compared to a gun mesh, it is a lot different for the 3-tech and the shade to get red because they're going to get red.
Boise UNLV will be a good game. Boise's only loss is a 3-point loss to Oregon.
Yeah, and that's where, the Genty kid gets a lot of Heisman consideration from that Oregon game more than any other thing because he had 2 touchdowns in that game. I don't know.
He having a hell of a year. I mean, geez.
Yeah, he'd have to be in the top discussion. Him, Travis, Milroe, Cam Ward, I would think are the 4 favorites right now.
Yeah, I think the Heisman's still wide open. I really do.
I agree.
Because there's so many marquee games left to play. I think it's wide open.
Yeah, I agree. Who you got tonight, UNLV Syracuse, as we break that down?
Let's see. What's that number? UNLV is, I think, plus 6.5, if I'm not mistaken.
UNLV is 6.5-point favorites against Syracuse, I believe.
I would take the points at Syracuse, but I think UNLV finds a way to win a close game late. They saw a pretty good crowd there tonight. Not a lot going on. Hold on one second, Coach.
Yeah, it's at UNLV, though. That's the thing, Bailey. So at least it's at home, which is a big time to have them at home this year.
And this is a dream. This is a dream of a good friend of mine, Shaun Garrity, who lives here in Vegas. He's been wanting to put this and make this a big deal, and Syracuse coming to town, so they'll have some people here. But the city's starting to get behind UNLV, especially after the Sluka stuff and them rallying last week to beat Fresno State. You've seen me representing. Shout out to all my guys over at UNLV. Give them a little love today.
Hey, one of my good friends in this world, in this coaching business, man, is the D-line coach there. He's the one bringing all the polys in. He's coached everywhere, and he's a really good friend of mine. But shout out to UNLV, a couple good friends on that staff. TJ Riddell, man, appreciate you. I'm gonna send that to Shaun. I appreciate you guys today. Listen, I got to ask you, Shaun. I'm going to take UNLV, and I think they actually show that they're a playoff contender. I think they actually just ride off last week's performance with the backup, addition by subtraction. UNLV shows up, and I think they fucking get it win in a big fashion and show people they're for real.
And I agree. One of the guys in the chat or people in the chat made an interesting point. They said that I said Kyle McCord was butt going into the season. Well, if you watched Ohio State last year, he was. I was evaluating based on the information I had at hand, and I think he's playing better. I still think he's in a developmental stage. He is playing better than he was at Ohio State, but you can make a valid point that he was the reason they lost the Stanford game. Turned the ball over, missed some things that were there.
Yeah, sorry, Shaun. No, Josh, Oos. No, that's not who's the D-line coach there. D-line coach at UNLV is a friend of mine named Ricky Logo. Been around a long time, man. He's been in the business for a long, long time, 30-plus years, Division I. That's the D-line coach at UNLV. Yeah, Shaun, back to your point. Listen, are you going to the game?
No.
Are they playing all their games now at Raider Stadium?
Yeah, they play at Allegiant.
You like that better than out there on the Strip?
Well, Allegiant is on. Right, it's right off the strip.
I mean, not the strip, but out at what's
that thing was falling apart where they used to play. Outside.
I used to like it though. Quiet as kept, man. I like being away.
It is away. It's out in the cut. I'm trying to. What's the name of the damn stadium? I forget what it was. Way
Sam Boyd. Sam Boyd.
Yeah, Sam Boyd. Yeah, that's condemned now. They can't even play athletic events there.
It was in the neighborhood. You get I guess it was like a JUCO environment to me. I don't know. Wasn't huge. It only held like
you hit it on the head. It was a JUCO. You're right.
Hey, it only held like 35,000, 40,000. You know what I mean? It wasn't huge, but
I'm telling you, surprisingly, they draw a decent crowd to be playing in the Legion. The atmosphere in there be rocking.
No doubt. Let's dive into this Heisman Trophy odds list real quick via FanDuel. I want to dive into what you think so far. Speaking of Heisman, these are the guys we know. For me, Travis Hunter to get it, Shaun, I don't know if you agree or not. I agree. They just have to be in the either a playoff consideration or no more than 2 to 3 losses, in my opinion, for him to be really considered as a non-QB. Because on offense, Shaun, let's just be honest and break down history. On offense, non-QBs that's won it, think about it, was our main man, Devontae Smith, a couple years ago, who had an unbelievable offensive performance on an Alabama team that was obviously in the playoffs, and he was killing it on offense. Travis, although I agree with Dion, you would be robbing us of seeing his full talent on both sides of the ball. I also think you could be robbing him of a Heisman because he's not going to have the numbers on one side of the ball or the other to actually win the Heisman. So I don't think anyone's talked about that side of it. So it's a double-edged sword, Shaun. It's going to be hard for Travis the more I look at it, unless they just say, all right, this is Charles Woodson. This is what it is. He's just so elite and dynamic. We're going to give it to him. But I think they have to win, though. So where are you at with that?
Here's what's interesting. I don't think Travis can do anything to lose the Heisman except get hurt. That's the only thing I think he could do that would go against him. What Travis and Colorado and everybody pulling for him, they just have to hope that Cam or Jalen or even Dylan or Nico or when Quinn comes back, one of those guys don't go on a miraculous undefeated run where they're playing lights out. That's the way Travis loses the Heisman. Not anything that Travis does, but if Cam Ward or Jalen Milroe, one of these quarterbacks of these high-powered, big brands, they get on a run, and they're sitting there undefeated, and Milroe has a couple more games like he had against Georgia, or Cam finds a consistency button that he's never had, then there'll be nothing Travis can do.
Yeah. Right now, I would just find it hard. Like, DeBoer has proven what a great coach he is. Wherever he goes, he wins. And he beats big-time head coaches head-to-head. Mm-hmm. The only guy he's lost to really of significance is Harbaugh in a national title. I mean, let's be honest. Everyone else he beats head-to-head. He owns college football right now, if you really want to talk about it. If he goes and runs the table like an Urban Meyer did year one at Ohio State, it's going to be very impressive.
If Jalen keeps playing good, there's nothing Travis can do.
You'll have the national title, the coach of the year, and the Heisman Trophy winner, all from Alabama once again.
I could fairly say Travis deserves it at this point in the season. Absolutely. I think he's playing at Heisman level. I really do. And the fact that he's creating turnovers on defense this year, I think enhances, his vote. I just think that at the end of the day, if one of those quarterbacks has a big, big season and their team is sitting there undefeated, historically, the Heisman is going to pick the quarterback.
Yeah. Addressing this guy in the chat, Matthew Byer. I hired Steve. You know why I hired Steve and how I hired Steve at Indy? Lance Leipold. Lance Leipold sent me Steve McCullum. Steve was a GA at Buffalo for Lance. I've known Lance for a long, long time. And Lance said he's a great dude, great worker, blah, blah, blah. And I hired him as an assistant defensive coach. And that's how people get hired in this profession. It's not a resume. Don't send a resume to a Division I coach or a power or a national JUCO coach. We're not looking at them. It's all who you know. It's a who you know business, coaches. It's not about resumes. You can have the best resume ever. We'll never see it. I'm just throwing that out there. Sorry to tell you the truth. Shaun, this weekend slate though, there's some games tonight, but tomorrow, here's a huge thing. Break that whole thing down right now, Shaun. Go. I'm just fucking with you.
All right, we got Memphis Air Force. I've not watched either. Navy Air Force. What's that for the Commanders Cup or something? They play them.
I got UCLA beating Penn State. I got
shot.
I'm just fucking with you.
Yeah, no shot.
Is the Shaun Foster on the hot seat today?
No, because they were competitive at LSU. They've been competitive in a couple games, so it's not like they're getting blown out. And it's his first year. It's his alma mater. He's gonna get a chance. You know what I mean? He'll get 3 years unless it starts to look bad.
Yeah.
I think the enemy might be on a hotter seat than Deshaun quicker if that offense start, putting up more points.
He's losing possible jobs too, Shaun. I'm just telling you, he's losing future opportunities. So I don't know. But the big games for this weekend, just real quick, as far as on the slate, where you at with like the big games that are going to be especially impactful? Does Michigan State have any shot at? The only reason I'd say Michigan State Oregon is an interesting watch because Jonathan Smith plays well and coaches well versus Oregon. Obviously, being at Oregon State for so long and beating Oregon in the rivalry just a few years ago. Michigan State have any shot at keeping that game tight?
I don't think so. I like that coach. Was it John Smith? I think is his name.
Yep.
Came from Oregon State. I think he's going to get Michigan State back to playing at a high level, but I don't think they're ready this year. And I think Oregon's about to hit like this stretch where they all put it together. Where they had a lot of new pieces early in the year. I think they were figuring some things out. I think they're getting more comfortable there. I think you're about to see them kind of start to spread their wings a little bit. I am kind of interested in in Iowa and Ohio State. That Caleb Johnson kid from Iowa, the running back, he's having a really, really good year. So this will be even the first semi-test for the Buckeyes, who came in. A lot of people thought were the best roster we've seen in a long time. And just because of scheduling, I'm going to say they've kind of flown under the radar. I still think their lack of elite quarterback play will bite them at some point, but this should be a pretty decent game. Can Ole Miss bounce back? Kentucky went to Oxford, kind of derailed a lot of the energy they had going on. South Carolina, surprisingly, has been in some really competitive games.
Beat Kentucky.
I think the upset alert game for me, at least, is Tennessee-Arkansas. I think Tennessee better be very careful this week going to Arkansas because Arkansas is a scrappy team. The old line coach down there, he playing for his job, and they're playing like it. So, to me, this is a game Tennessee better be very careful, and I would not be surprised if Miami loses outright to Cal.
Wait, rewind. You say what again?
Hey, man, 7:30 on the West Coast, Miami. You can't get a farther trip than Miami to damn Cal. Where's Cal at in California?
Northern Cali.
Cali
Berkeley.
To South Florida.
And they drove the truck. They drove the truck. The truck got there last night.
Geographically, there might not be two further places away.
Hey Shaun, why was it a brother driving that motherfucker from Miami? And he documented the whole thing. He's in Texas. This motherfucker drove 3,000 miles in a truck. And why did it have to be a brother, man?
Hey, they body clock's gonna be on 10:30 p.m. time because it's a 7:30 kick on the West Coast. I'm just telling you, this will be a tricky spot for the Canes.
Hey, if you're coaching college football right now in this realignment era, and you put these teams in you put Cal in the ACC, who just went to Florida State last week, right, or 2 weeks ago, and you got having to play at Virginia and all this craziness, Stanford going to Clemson. Would you not treat it as an NFL style of schedule? Because if I'm Miami and Mario,
and you saying go a day early?
A day? Shit, I'd have went on fucking Tuesday.
So, JB, as you know, the only problem with that in college is the amount of people you have to take. In the NFL, you only take in, 47 players, and,
Well, I'm talking about the team. I would only take the team, and I get – and I don't want to hear one thing because I'm glad Shaun didn't even bring it up. And I know I'm going to hear this fucking – nobody's in the chat. Well, what about class? Shut up. Shut up. Nobody worry about class no more. It's not college football no more. This is professional. Miss me with the class shit. So I would just take the team, Shaun, and get them acclimated because you know, as I know, you don't just show up the day before and catch up 3 hours minus.
I think it's strictly a cost thing. That's a lot of people for 3-4 days. A lot of hotel rooms, a lot of food.
But the trucks are coming. I'd bring more people on those trucks than I would flying. I would just
ain't nobody getting on no damn in no car.
No, I don't mean in the back like fucking traffickers.
Oh.
I'm saying hold on, man. I'm saying
get out your JUCO hat.
I'm saying like fly the team out and the coaching staff, get it going, meetings, get a couple lifts in, get your practices going, acclimate the time. And then you bring your rest of your cats on Thursday, Friday. That's all I'm saying. All the equipment's coming. Now, I guess all the equipment wouldn't be there, so we weren't practicing in pads anyway.
Yeah, you'd have to have all the equipment staff. You'd have to have all the training staff. I mean, it's a lot of people, man, when the college moves. So I just think it's a cost thing. But I'm telling you, my top 2 games, for those that have been following me with the bet, I like Arkansas plus the points. And I like Cal plus the points. And I think both of those teams are live to win outright. If
Miami struggles in this game, we just saw a struggle last week after a Hail Mary, disaster avoided, then they're not a real contender. They got to go in and dominate Cal, in my opinion. And I don't care about the time change and all that other shit. I think they have to dominate this team or they're not going to be a serious contender. So I'm going to take Miami, but that's just me. Real quick, an interesting game is A&M Missouri. A&M winners of 4 in a row. Missouri's 4-0. Hasn't been impressive, Missouri, as they ended the season last year, though. It's in College Station. I think Missouri has a top 3 wide receiver in all of football.
Luther Burden.
Yeah. Where you at with that game?
Surprisingly, and I'm a big Connor Weigman fan, but he got injured, and this kid is filled in for him. I'm drawing a blank on his name. I think he's a freshman at A&M, the quarterback. He's been balling. I mean, So I think A&M is, anytime you got to go to Cal Field, man, you got to have your bootstraps, all the way on. That's a tough environment to go into. So I think this ends up being a competitive, tight game. I don't think we know a whole lot about this Missouri team.
Yeah.
I think we're still kind of finding out and figuring out where they are. Just for reference's sake, Arkansas is getting 13.5 and Cal is getting 10.5.
That's a tough Cal one, man. 10.5 to me is not enough. Like, that scares me.
A&M's actually favored.
I actually lean with you because 10.5 seems like I don't know if Miami can win by 2 touchdowns.
By the way, A&M is favored by 2.5.
That's crazy.
This Saturday. They're 4-1. They're kind of riding the ship. Missouri's coming in undefeated, number 9 in the country, and they're a dog at A&M. That's how tough it is to play at Cal Field.
Let's talk about some real brass tacks. Let's talk about what you and I would probably be the only ones in this chat that understand and know, other than any coaches in here. Your biggest fear of letdown games this weekend. I'm going to throw these names out, and you just tell me. We'll go through each one real quick. Letdown game. Louisville just got beat in a hard one against Notre Dame. Can they bounce back with Jeff Brom against a rolling SMU team on offense? Not an easy game to bounce back from after a tough loss. Does Brom and Louisville bounce back?
Yeah, I'm not impressed with SMU. I watched them go to Nevada and be in a dogfight. I think they're very undisciplined. I think SMU is one of the teams that the NIL has hurt. I think they brought in some bad kids, talented but bad kids that lack discipline. And Brom does a good job. I think that in itself will be enough for Louisville to find a win.
All right.
Let me say this about, in my opinion, where sometimes we as coaches make mistakes. when you start the season, your goal should be conference championship, going undefeated. Like, I hate when you put too much emphasis on one game. You know, that's when your letdown spots come, because you were chasing one weekend, not the season in its entirety.
I agree with that. A lot of people don't talk about that. Noel actually mentioned it on Wednesday. Noel Mazzoni was like, he said something similar. It happens in the NFL too. Nowadays, in this NFL era, when a quarterback goes down, that's the mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, man, last night's game, Atlanta, we're going to break down after this college stuff. But last night's game, we're treating it like that was it's week 5. It wasn't a championship game, even though I think Atlanta's winning the South. I said it before the season. Tampa screwed that game up, but we're going to dive into that. Let me ask you, that's a good point. Let me ask you something real quick, though. Letdown games. You think Louisville bounce back? I'm in agreement with that. Georgia, any inclination at all they have a struggle against Auburn?
I think Georgia's kind of built the opposite way, especially because Carson Beck kind of played an uneven game. I wouldn't be surprised if they boat race Auburn this week.
All right. Ole Miss. South Carolina, who beat Kentucky, who just beat Ole Miss. I know that doesn't really matter in the thick of things. But Ole Miss, do they have a bounce-back game? Lane's notorious for blowing out teams after a loss. I could see this team a little different, though. South Carolina is pretty good on defense. Ole Miss minus 8.5 seems a bit much for me, unless they're either going to boat race them, as I said yesterday, or it's going to be a South Carolina win late.
Yeah, the one thing I know about going down into Columbia, South Carolina, man, it's going to be a raucous environment. Now, say what you want about Beamer. He has galvanized the community of Columbia. They are supporting the Gamecocks. So I can see that being a competitive game, whether Ole Miss beat Kentucky or not. So I'm going to go with that's going to be a competitive. It's hard to play down there in Columbia.
We don't even need to ask about Alabama, Vandy. Vandy's better, but they're not.
No, Bama's on the high right now. Bama's rolling.
The board doesn't have letdowns either. Arkansas, Tennessee, you already picked that game. Arkansas Tennessee minus 13.5.
I'm taking Arkansas plus the points, and I think Arkansas got a shot to really sneak out a win here and mess up Tennessee's national title hopes, at least for the time being.
All right, Michigan, Washington. Very interesting one, in my opinion. Washington's favored by 1.5, which is ironic. It's at home, though, so I get it. But 41.5 seems a bit high for these two defenses.
Washington's playing who?
Michigan.
And they're favored?
By 1.5.
Wow. I would say this. Washington might be the most undisciplined team in Power 4 football. So I cannot, in good faith, lay points with them. But I'm not backing Michigan in that quarterback situation either. So
yeah, I agree. Damn, it's an interesting one right there.
USC,
Minnesota. Does USC have they were down in Wisconsin by 10, come back and score, 38 and pull away, but got to go right back up to Minneapolis in that northern, getting a little cooler. It's going to be 70 degrees. I mean, it's not cool, but it's not going to be an issue, but it's 100 here, by the way. I'm just throwing that out there. It's been 100 degrees all week in Cali. Where I'm at. Where you at, SC Minnesota?
See, I think these are all tricky games for USC. Now, Minnesota doesn't have that bell cow running back they've had in the past. They kind of do it, committee, Marcus Major and Darius Taylor, but they don't got like that NFL caliber back. But, man, it's going to start getting cool. This is I think 7:30 kick in Minnesota as we get into October, and they're going to run the ball. And I think SC's interior run defense is awful. They might have the worst Mike linebacker in the Big Ten. Their number 4 is atrocious versus the run. So they're susceptible all of these road games against these Big Ten teams. After what Michigan did to them, man, they're gonna have to fasten their bootstraps and buckle their helmets because the blueprint is out.
Last one. Can Baylor shock Iowa State?
No, Iowa State's damn good. He's missed on a couple jobs after turning down a couple jobs, but he got him a good team. By the way, that's Anthony Beck's son. That's the
quarterback at Iowa State. Remember Anthony Beck played tight end at Rutgers and for the Jets?
Yeah, he's a head coach in the USFL right now.
Yep, that's his son.
Yeah, he's a good dude. I've known Nancy for a long time. Damn, interesting. All right, let's dive into last night's game real quick. What's your takeaway from the 509, 42 of 58, one touchdown, but he was 509. I watched it. Listen, compare this to a, let's say, 18 for 18 Jared Goff, where it was dink and dunk. Noel and I broke it down. Like, we got to look at it, take it what it is. We get it as a perfect game, but it was not what you saw last night with Cousins throwing the ball in anticipatory windows off of backers' ears and shit. That was the old QB right there, NFL style that we like. Throwing the ball in the teeth of the coverage, man, on time. Wasn't lateral, bubble, smoke. I mean, we got to see some fucking real deal quarterback last night. I wasn't impressed overall, though, because Baker on the other side looked like he struggled for the most part. He threw for 170 yards, I believe. And Bucks should have won the game. The Bucks should have won the football game at the end of the day, even though we threw for 509. It would have been about 440 before the overtime. So he had 440 yards before overtime, and they should have lost. That tells us what Shaun and I tell you guys. Run the damn ball. I still think Bijan Robinson's underutilized, and I don't think they're going to win in the playoffs unless that guy gets 20-plus touches a game. I don't care if it's running or catching. Bijan is the most electric player in football when he has the ball in his hands, by far. He reminds me of Barry, Reggie Bush, Percy Harvin. He has some twitch in him that you don't see by any other back in this league.
Yeah, it was interesting. I tweeted out last night. Y'all can follow me on Twitter at Real Shaun King. You spent a top 10 pick on a running back, and Tyler Algier is your third down back.
I don't understand that shit.
I don't get it.
Why are we on third down, Shaun, and we're running slow-ass inside zone with Algier on 3rd and 2? And I'm like, what are we doing?
And they throwing in the ball. Algier had like 2-3 catches on 3rd down.
Is it like, are we trying to gimmick you?
In overtime, Algier was the starting running back.
You know, Shaun, I'll be honest. I'm gonna. This is why I say coaching's overrated. And I learned from a legendary junior college coach, Carl Beach. Shout out to Carl. One of the winningest coaches in California State history. He's in the Hall of Fame. I'm running all this offense, and we're running all this fast-paced stuff. I'm reading the shade. I'm reading the 3 technique back in 08, 09. He grabs me and MFs me, and he's like, you brought all these freaks in, JB. Kudos to you. You brought all these NFL wideouts in here. AJ Tolbert's a guy out there at X. He's 6'6". He runs 4.4. He has a 40-inch vertical. Why are you running all this offense? And I go, what do you mean, coach? He goes, do me a favor. I want you to throw him a comeback every play until I say stop. I said, really? He goes, yeah. I go, shit, I don't really have comeback in. I got curl. He's like, why you don't have comeback in? So as a younger coach, I'm sitting there. This is a long time ago now. I'm sitting there like, damn. Hey, we threw a comeback, Shaun, 8 straight times. He had like 250 yards in the game, 3 touchdowns. They couldn't stop him. He's like walking up and down past me the whole game. Yeah, keep working on all that offense. I'd be practicing throwing him comeback every snap. And he didn't care about the other guys that I brought in. He doesn't look, and say, well, coach, I got these other freaks. I got to give him the ball. He's like, screw them other dude. Throw the guy the ball 18 times a game. He's right, man. Coaching's overrated.
Yeah, I don't get what they're doing. It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't understand the rotations. Why Bijan didn't have more design stuff in the past game, I don't get. Like, I know Zach Robinson is getting his opportunity to call it. By the way, this is my youngest, Ashton. He wanted to tell everybody what's up.
What's up, Bubba? How you doing, Ashton?
Say hello, Coach Jay.
Hello.
All right, go play. So
yeah, that's the only way I won't cuss, by the way, Chris. Shaun know what he's doing. Shaun know what he's doing.
So I thought Kirk played a hell of a game last night. I mean, some of those throws he made, I mean, that was old school. Like for us to consider you a dude at quarterback and for you to have an opportunity to get the big bag, you had to be able to make those kind of throws consistently. And I think that's what's changed when it comes to that position.
Did that put the damper to you on us seeing Michael Penix this year?
Oh, I don't think we're ever going to see Michael Penix. I know Raheem too well, and Raheem's not he don't overreact. He's not an emotionally hijacked guy. Like Raheem, real smooth and steady.
He got emotional last night. He was hyped up about Kirk Cousins.
At the refs. Yeah, at the refs.
No, he was coming at Kirk like, let's go, hell yeah, like, you know, proving me right. Like I did the right thing with your ass. You know,
right,
I was scared early on when you look like you know, old ass Achilles victim. So,
but let's say Atlanta doesn't win last night. I mean, he still got to come back against the Eagles. I mean, you can tell that he's getting better and more comfortable with Zach Robinson's system every week. You could just tell. And he's getting more comfortable with Drake London and Kyle Pitts and Darnell Mooney and Ray McLeod. You can just tell it. He's starting to throw the ball out. Like that Pittsburgh game, I was worried. I mean, he looked bad. But you can tell he's getting more comfortable every week.
No doubt. Let's transition real quick to your town, Las Vegas. The NCAA, again, non-caring assholes of America, who've already done and forced out guys like Belichick and Coach K and Duke University college basketball, Sean King's favorite school. You got, you know, now Harbaugh leaves, and then he goes to the NFL and they sanction him like he really cares. Antonio Pierce got sanctioned last night to an 8-year show clause for the COVID dead period time, which is a joke to me. You can give kids second red shirts and give kids 10 years, but now we're going after the coach who got Jaden Daniels, in essence, to go to Arizona State, Jack Jones to leave SC that he coached at Poly in high school. It's a joke to me. It's actually a mockery to me. Who cares? That's why Herm Edwards left, because they were on him because of Antonio Pierce. One of my former players was the DB coach at Arizona State during the time. Where you at with this whole BS?
I don't think there's one sitting NFL coach that has any interest in going back to college unless he doesn't have any other options.
I was about to say the same thing.
You could put a show cause on an NFL coach for 10 years in college. He don't give a damn.
You see head coaches leaving college
and deal with the kids with the transfer portal and all that foolishness.
That's why when they say Pete Carroll to UCLA and shit, I'm like, bro, Pete Carroll at 75 years old is not going back to college. I can see Pete Carroll in the NFL front office before I see him coaching these kids and dealing with all this drama. He ain't doing it.
And it's sad, JB, that it got like that. Because the intrinsic value of coaching college, of taking a teenager and turning him to a young man, you know, that used to have value and whole you know, credence when it came to decision making. But I'm not going to call him what you call him, but the NCAA, I mean, they've gotten that thing to the point where, I mean, I have so many college coaches that call me and tell me they're about to slit their wrists. Like, it's just damn near unbearable now.
I told you what people have told me. Like, JB, if I can make this money at Walmart, I'd leave tomorrow and go be at Walmart. They don't want this no more. They don't want to deal with this. Why are we managing money in college? You know what I'm saying? Like, now you're actually underpaying head coaches, in my opinion, to where we were just talking about them being overpaid. And then especially when you got an Appalachian State going into North Carolina and beating them when the head coach makes $5 million at one place and $500,000 at the other. Everyone was like, remember Marshall beat Notre Dame last year, and they did the salary comparison. And then when who went into A&M last year and beat A&M? Remember, it was whoever it was, I forgot.
It was App State, wasn't it?
Maybe App State, yeah, App State. Yeah. And they're comparing the salaries. Well, now you look at it like it seems like everybody's underpaid. Because of what they're doing, managing salary. Now we're managing salary caps in college.
Shout out to everybody in Boone, North Carolina, too. I think they canceled their last game because of damage from the hurricane. So I hope they got everything's all right up there.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, that whole situation. But man, Kamala gave $750. So where you at with I forgot that Oregon game was tonight. I wanted to touch back. I wanted to touch back on that because that don't bode well for Oregon. I'm just throwing that out there. They do not play well on Friday nights. If you've watched the history, that's what Oregon State beat Oregon. Jonathan Smith has beat Oregon on a Friday night in the past. This is going to be interesting, man. I know it's in Eugene. It's
They're favored by 23.5.
I don't see that cover. You? They haven't played well this year. I'll be honest. Oregon has not played to the team we thought they were.
They haven't, but
and are they looking forward to Ohio State, Shaun? You got to think about all these things now as a coach.
It'll be a look-ahead game. I just don't know if Aiden Childs and that offense are consistent enough to go into that environment. Like, and I know I know the people in the chat and listening and stuff keep hearing me talk about environment. Here's what I mean. When you don't have stability at quarterback and you go on the road in a raucous, loud environment, communication becomes a major, major issue. And man, listen, when it rains,
real quick, before you say that, this kid is a family friend. I've watched him grow up. He's right here. It's SoCal kid. The quarterback for Michigan State.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I think he's talented.
Jonathan brought him
Yeah,
with him.
He brought him from Oregon State. I think he's a talented kid. I just think he's kind of inconsistent. 5 touchdowns, 8 picks this year.
Yeah.
And when you get in that kind of environment, man, listen, it can go downhill fast for you. It's not a reflection on your talent; it's a reflection on your inexperience.
And I know Jonathan well. Shout out to Glendora High School. He used to speak for a lot of my clinics. I know Jonathan, and I've seen what he's done on Michigan State. This is not the offense he's ran at Oregon State with DJ. It's not the offense he's ran at other places like Idaho and other places where he got his start. He is adapting to his personnel, A, and his environment, as you just mentioned, B. He knows he can't chuck the ball around and run RPO 60 times a game in that conference against those teams and that talent. So the quarterback Childs, in my opinion, is also hitting a few bumps in the road, learning more of a pro-style offense that Jonathan, I believe, creates NFL quarterbacks more so than, let's say, a Mike Norvell. Because let's be honest, Jonathan got more out of DJ than Norvell's getting.
Yeah, I think Aiden's going to be a good player. I was just strictly talking about this particular matchup. It's an opportunity for Landon to kind of put a national stamp on this year's team, too, because people haven't really seen Oregon play. That Oregon-Boise game was a 7 o'clock Pacific start, so the East Coast was asleep. So I know this one's late, but at least it's on a Friday, and so it'll be some people on the East Coast that are even by happenstance that'll get to see Oregon, for the first time this year.
Yeah. Was that the best Amazon Prime game last night in 2 years?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The best Thursday night football game in history, maybe, off the top of my head, because Thursday's been some snoozers. Like, almost to the point where you don't even have to really game plan for Thursday. You like, if I watch it, I watch it. If I don't, I don't. Like, they've been that bad. But last night was pretty good, start to finish. I think they had, 17-10 into the first quarter? Wasn't it something crazy like that? Or 10-7. It was 10-7 into the first quarter. So it was a game where you saw a lot of points being scored.
Yeah. Shaun, let's do some hell yeah, hell no before you get out of here. I appreciate you jumping on here Friday. I know you got the babies over there. Let's get you out of here. Hell yeah, hell no. UNLV will take out Syracuse by 10 or more tonight.
No. Hell no. I think they win, but I think Syracuse covers.
I'm gonna say hell yeah. I think UNLV is on a high. I think they're fully bought into the backup. They have no more issues. I think from what I was told by my good buddy, that Barry Odom does the same NIL deal for every single player on offense, which they knew. And for Sluka to do what he did, I think has bonded that locker room even more so. And I think that team is fully bought in. And I think Barry Odom's the top 5 coach in college football. I'm going to say hell yeah. Hell yeah, hell nah. Cal Berkeley, Cal football will win versus Miami tomorrow night. You called it, Shaun, earlier. You said you ain't surprised, but that's not a hell yeah, hell no. But you said you're not surprised.
Yeah, so I'm going to go hell yeah because this is one of my bigger bets this weekend is Cal plus the points. I do think Cal makes this competitive. I think there's a lot of things working against Miami. Traveling cross country, that late start, it'll be 10:30 on their body clocks. I think Cal's are a solid football team. They're not spectacular, but they're solid. I think this is a game in the fourth quarter. I think Miami will find a way to eke out a win, but I wouldn't be surprised if Cal wins. But I definitely think Cal covers the number.
Ooh. Hell yeah, hell nah, Shaun. Ole Miss will lose to South Carolina in Columbia.
Hell no. I think this is where you trust Lane Kiffin. Lane doesn't generally have 2 bad weeks in a row. So Jackson Dart, that offense, they'll do just enough. South Carolina battling some injuries. So I think Ole Miss gets it done. It's gonna be tough though. It's tough to win in Columbia, but they'll get it done.
I agree with you. I'm gonna say hell nah. Lane wins. Hell yeah, hell nah. 5 quarterbacks will throw for 300 yards or more this weekend in the NFL.
Damn, I need to be looking at the schedule. I'm gonna say hell no based on what.
Well, last week you had Geno hit it. You had, I believe, Baker hit it. You had Kurt hit it last night. You're getting more and more. You're getting more and more. First 400-yard night was last night. He broke 500. 5, though, Shaun. You're going to say no?
I'm going to say this. I think Aaron Rodgers has a big game.
Overseas, in London.
I'm going to say Aaron Rodgers and the Jets blitzkrieg the Vikings. I'm going to say Rodgers has a big game and pushes 300. Garrett Wilson finally has a breakout. I think the Vikings are primed to get brought back down to earth just slightly.
I don't disagree. And I was going to say that Sunday pregame show we're going to have, that game will be played. That game will be in the third quarter when we start our Sunday game because it's in London, our Sunday show with Sean Salisbury and Jeff Nadu. It's a great segue, though. I'm going to say hell nah. We won't have 300-yard, five guys won't throw for 300. But a great segue because you said Minnesota. Hell yeah or hell nah. Sam Darnold will win the MVP this year.
Hell no.
He's got to be leading right now.
Not because he doesn't necessarily deserve it.
Is he not leading, though, right now?
No.
Who's leading right now?
It
ain't Mahomes because he's worse than Justin Fields and
Josh Allen probably is
that loss hurt him. Right now, Darnold's winning it right now. There's no way. Burrow's a non-factor. Mahomes is down.
So
Lamar's 2-2.
Jaden Daniels might be in front of Sam Darnold right now. Like
he's definitely rookie of the year. He's definitely rookie.
The problem is the Vikings. This is their first marquee standalone game. So this is the first time a lot of people are gonna have seen the Vikings play.
I already picked him as comeback player of the year. That's a shoe-in right now. I think he's fucking around with the MVP because I just think we're having a bad.
A lot of football left, JB.
A lot of football. But right now, he's got to be leading the league in MVP right now. If we were to bet right now, I would say he's the leader. No CMC. Josh just lost.
I think Darnold's like Baker Mayfield. Like I think he's gonna play his way into the big bag, but I don't know if he's gonna get like his due respect across the league to be in like an MVP conversation.
Do you agree with Matt that he's gone regardless because of your guy JJ is going to be the guy for the future and he'll get a bag somewhere else and he'll go start in Tennessee or Jacksonville?
Hell no.
Yeah, I think he's staying.
If he continues to play like he's playing, I can see the Vikings giving him a 4-year, $200 million deal.
I wouldn't get rid of him, though. Fuck no. I'm not risking on an unknown for a known. Hell no. I couldn't do it. No, there's no way. I agree. I say no to 5 quarterbacks. And I kind of is that your pick lock of the week, the Jets upset?
It's my biggest NFL play.
Head on over to winnable.com/slap picks today. Get all our picks as we did last night. Get all our picks on our first down package. Shaun, appreciate you jumping in. I'll see you Monday. I'll hit you up over the weekend and see what you got going next week as far as maybe co-host with me for an hour or so.
All right, man. Enjoy your weekend.
All right, brother.
Go
Peace.
Rebels.
Let's finish this show. We got 15 minutes. Let's finish it on a high note. I want to show a little video real quick of what the world's coming to and what to expect. We saw it with the NFL Pro Bowl. We're seeing it now in high school. And now we're creating leagues so that we don't hurt anyone's feelings. This individual playing quarterback, unfortunately, is better than half the men playing quarterback in football. So my buddy's the head coach of this high school here in Southern California. Orange Lutheran is a pretty prominent high school here, private school, pays a lot of money to coaches, et cetera, et cetera. This girl's better than half the high school men's quarterbacks in the country. Go check her out. If you haven't, go check her out. She's balling out here at Olu. Olu is, for whatever it's worth, they rank girls' flag football games, teams. And Olu's the number one flag football team in America. Believe that or not, it's true. And it's a sad, sad day. Baby Jesus, T's and P's to what football used to be, what it will be, and where we are today. Girls are the future of football, Lord. Not only coaching, but playing. And baby Jesus, I don't know where we've gone, how we got here, or what is to come. But what I do know is, baby Jesus, that girls shouldn't play the game and they shouldn't coach it. But what do I know? Oh, it's a sad day, Lord. Please save us, Lord. Not only from Kamala, but from the girls playing football and coaching it. I miss the gladiator sport it once was. And I miss America being what it once was. In your name, Jesus' name, we pray. Amen. God. Two things can be true, homie. Two things can be true. Shout out to her. Shout out to all the young girls and then playing football. JB, JB. Shout out to all the girls playing. Two things can be true. This girl could be playing. Is she real? JB, yeah, I've watched her play. JB, two things can be true. She is legit. JB, I've seen her. JB. Smitty, stop defending them. Fuck. Smitty just popped in. He had to go back to Fox. Two things can be true. I'm going to go to the yacht Sunday. I'm going to spend the Sunday on the yacht because it's supposed to be 90 degrees on the water. I got to go out there, see if there's some hoes. I got to go out there and see if anything's floating around. I'm going to go out there and chill on the yacht, smoke me a stick, drink some Palomas, bump some music. I got the TV. I'll be watching on the 4-way. I'll be having the 4 screen up there. I'll be watching some football. So I'll watch football on the boat. I'll anchor down right out by an island somewhere. I'll just chill. Why not? Summer's ending, man. I got to get them as many times as I can on that boat. Then I got to take it out the water, and then I'm going to have it worked on and fine-tune a few things, and then I'll throw it back in. Because we don't really have winter here, but I'll throw it back in. So just throwing that out there. But let's dive into a few more things real quick. A guy that's on everyone's mind, John Gruden, used to threaten Max Crosby for batting down balls in practice. Take a listen.
Gruden. Did he get pissed off at you because you were too good at defense in practice? You would fuck up his offense?
He would get irritated. He literally threatened to cut me on the middle of the field. One of my first training camp. And his thing, like, he's an offensive coach, and I've always had offensive coaches till AP got here. But he would get so mad about batting balls. Like, we'd be in practice doing team, and he refused to let us bat the ball. But I would tell him, I'm like, why the fuck are we practicing to not bat the balls? But in a game, they're going to be doing the same shit. So What's the point? But he's an offensive guy, so he wants his shit he wants practice to move a certain way. So I'm not even thinking. I'm just trying to make plays and whatever. I'm a third string. I'm just trying to do everything. So it was like the second week of training camp. I swat a ball down, and I'm fucking hyped, celebrating. And he's all looking at me all irritated, whatever. Happens again. Boom, swat a ball down. Then it happens at the end of practice. I swat it for the third time. He's like, stop swatting the fucking ball down. He goes, I'll fucking cut your ass. I swear to God if you do it one more time. And I'm looking at him like, all right. And then I just go back to the huddle. Like, he shut down practice and motherfucked me. Whatever. And I'm like, what? But yeah, I'm not used to it. In college, we do whatever the fuck. We hit the scout team quarterbacks. We didn't give a fuck. And you bat one Derek Carr ball, you're getting motherfucked.
So, what do I know? What does fucking John Gruden know? Rookie Max Crosby, who I love to death. Max, you don't fucking know why. You don't know why Gruden wanted to not bat the ball down. Can I tell everybody why? Because when the ball gets batted, we don't have film to watch to see if the wideout got open. Did he get rerouted? Did the scheme work? Did the quarterback make the right read? Did he make the right throw? Was his drop correct? So the ball was away from the line of scrimmage. We don't get to see the operations operate. Max, there's a reason why he won a Super Bowl. There's a reason why he's a quarterback whisperer. And there's a reason why Derek Carr was better with him than he was without him. So I just want to be clear with you. Sometimes you youngsters don't know what you don't know. We need to see it on film. What do you think 4 batted balls in a row does at practice? Do you not think I've just wasted my whole fucking day on film? You don't think so I want to go watch breakdown and say, all right, fuck it. We get to watch 4 batted balls. That's really helping us get better. You know when you bat balls? When we put a broomstick out at practice in endo drills. Okay? We're gonna do batted ball drills as D-line coaches should be teaching. And then guess what quarterbacks do? They do endo drills to avoid getting the ball batted with their drop depth. Okay, so we're clear. On a 3-step drop, you should be 5 yards deep so the balls don't get batted by the guards, either hitting him in the helmet or the D linemen putting their hands up over the guard. And the defensive ends rushing up the field, we do endo drills. So we climb the pocket inside of that pass rushing DN. So we do all these things in practice so that we can watch the film and see if the ball is executed correctly and where he's throwing the football. I'd rather motherfuck Derek Carr going to the wrong wideout or throwing the wrong read than I would seeing the fucking ball batted. And then guess what happens when the ball's batted? Let me give you a little more game. What do you see when the ball's batted on the backside of the route combination, people? The backside of the route is dead. They don't run the route. So on film, I can't see the backside of my wide receivers. Guess what we do when we teach the QBs? Derek Carr dropped. He threw a hitch. All right, we got it on film. He completed it. Now guess what? We rewind it and show Derek Carr, what if backer expands? Where would you go? I go to the backside cover 1 beater. And those 2 guys ran full speed routes. But we can't see it when the ball's batted 4 fucking times. So anyway, that's why you don't bat the ball, Max Crosby. Love you to death. And I understand. You wanted to get paid. You got paid. You practice hard regardless. I get it. And that's what makes you great. But you have to understand there's bigger fish to fry when you're the head football coach in the NFL and in college. And there's a bigger picture of things. So that is why we can't have the ball batted. I used to motherfuck Jermaine Johnson. You don't think Jermaine batted balls at practice? Ask him. Ask him if I didn't motherfuck them for batting balls at practice in JUCO. Same concept, same reason. But what the fuck do I know? Nothing. I don't know shit. You all know more. But coach, Max should bat every ball. Yeah, so we don't get any practice done. You fucking moron. Anyway, Brett Favre, but again, what do I know, has come out and said, just like I say, this is why great players don't make great coaches. Most of them have no clue about fronts, about coverages, about anything. All they know is the offense and the defense that have been created for them to execute. They don't really know the full picture. Take a listen to what Brett Favre had to say regarding dime and nickel coverage.
I was afraid to ask. I'm the starter, you know. Ty Dutton was over there, you know, and so after about our second year, I said, finally, I said, I just got to know. So I said, Ty, I got to ask you a question. And Ty was about as goofy as I was. He says, what's that? And I said, what's nickel defense? He gets real quiet. He says, "Are you serious?" I said, "Yeah, I'm serious." He says, "Well, they basically take out a linebacker and bring in a DB." I said, "That's it?" He said, "That's it." I said, "Who gives a
And listen, they made it into a joke and all, but that's true. I'll tell you right now, I talked to like Willie McGinnis, guys that I know I grew up with that played and won Super Bowls in New England and played a long time, finished with Cleveland. He didn't know what a 3 technique was. He played fucking 5 technique in the NFL, an outside stand-up backer, rush passer. He didn't know what a 3 technique was. And he said, "You know why? That's why I don't coach, AB. I got a Pop Warner team with Snoop, but I don't coach." Mike Singletary, you think knew about coaching football when he got the head job for the Niners? A lot of these guys are just so good at their jobs when they were pros that they knew their position, their responsibility, and they were better than everyone else. That doesn't equate to good coaches. Just telling you. A lot of them don't understand. And I love when I hear people say, "Yeah, sure, Dan Orlovsky called you and text you." Well, it's fact, obviously. And he could have called anybody in the NFL. Just because you played doesn't mean you can coach. And he knows that those guys he could call in the NFL don't know what I'm going to tell them when it comes down to breaking down film on ESPN. But what do I know? So you guys all fucking think you know so much. You don't. You don't. And you should humble yourselves and actually learn some shit. Read a fucking book. Maybe turn over a rock. Just throwing that out there. But what do I know? I'm a nobody. It is what it is. Oh, LeBron would be a horrible coach. I mean, look at the ex-players that coach basketball. How many good ones are there? Jason Kidd, you could consider him maybe in the mix now. Jason Kidd, maybe, and he's starting to figure it out. He's had some bumps in the roads. Steve Nash had a hell of a fucking run, didn't he? Magic Johnson was a hell of a coach, wasn't he? Kirk Rambis, Luke Walton. Yeah, they were great. Players aren't good, man. Players aren't good coaches. Just telling you. Can't wait to see the great fucking new Lakers coach. By the way, NBA season starting. We'll have some basketball talk, but we're going to end the show here in a minute. Baseball is up. Dodgers, Padres. I don't understand it. I don't know why the Dodgers, Padres have to play after a bye when the Dodgers deserve and have won the pennant 11 out of 12. The division, and have to play a team they've played 26 times during the season in the same state. I don't understand. See, G Wizzle doesn't listen. G Wizzle's such a fucking idiot. He doesn't listen. Was Phil Jackson a great player in the thick of things? Did I not say great players struggle to coach, or did I say average players struggle to coach? What did I say? G Wizzle, what did I say? Was Phil Jackson fucking Mike Magic Johnson? Was he Mike Singletary? Do you listen at all? Or are you just in here trolling like a fucking dick rider, G Wizzle? You're a dick rider. You're an absolute fucking nobody dick rider. So shut up. You're talking about one guy that had success. One fucking guy. Yay! Pat Riley was what when he became an NBA player? A role player. Good in college at Kentucky. Role player in the NBA for the most part. Had a pretty fucking good career coaching. Like I said, there's anomalies. There's guys that get it done. And then there's a lot of guys that are just not good. Steve Kerr was not Michael Jordan. Sorry. Steve Kerr wasn't fucking Michael Jordan. Steve Kerr was a role player who hit threes because Michael Jordan allowed him to be open. Let's just be honest. I can talk any sport you want to talk about, you fucking dick rider. Jerry West was a great coach. Fuck, G-Wizzle. Fuck. Hold on, baby. Let me. Yeah, here we go. Right here. Heads or tails? You guys call it. Heads or tails? It's tails. Fuck. Unfortunately, tails is not good for you, G-Wizzle. Heads or tails? I blocked you. It's tails. I'm sorry. G-Wizzle, you lost. I hate to do it, but you lost. It's tails. It's tails. Hate to do it to you, but you lost. Fair and square. In my head. Tails blocked you. Get the fuck out of my chat. Hey, hey, hey. Goodbye. Da-na-na-na. Na-na-na-na. Hey, hey, hey. Goodbye. G-Wizzle, rest in peace. You fucking dick riders. And make that notice for all you other fucks. Keith, you're next. See you next week, Monday. I'll see you Sunday for the NFL pregame show with Jeff and Sean Salisbury. And then I'll be on the boat enjoying an AE, a stick, and some yak. Appreciate everybody. Bailey in the ones and twos behind. Go follow him and watch his show later, as I'll pop on his show later on tonight. And follow him and Matt on the 0 to 60 pod right after this. And Hector, shout out to you and everybody in there in the chat. I'll see you guys Monday, man, on the realest show on Planet Earth. I'll be solo dolo next week as well with nothing but action-packed guests. We got some special guests as well. Michael Lombardi joins us next week. Roddy White joins us next Tuesday. And Cam Newton may be back on next Thursday going forward. We'll see. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Issues get pressed so fast you don't get sacked like bags and baggage. Smitty and Jason Brown, kill the yeah, it's a rap.